Christmas from Lost Aux Media. I'd like to thank you on joining me for this holiday of debauchery, where we make you take a second look at what you just watched. As always, here on Lost Aux Media, we have a lot of good jamokes to bring to you, and this holiday season is going to be no different. Okay? So let's see, who do we have on the docket for this Merry Christmas? We got good old Ethan Klein in the gang playing some Dungeons and Dragons. This one's going to be a very interesting one because Ethan's got a whole new look. You're not going to want to miss this. Then we also get to check out their very special Christmas finale. Give it up. It's going to be a nice one, so you're not going to want to miss it, like I said. Then we get to watch Matan Evan completely dismantle Whitney Cummings on his podcast, and she's going to end up spilling some beans. All that and later on Lost Aux Media. Then, of course, we say goodbye to the beloved Dave Portnoy on the BFFs podcast.
This dumb shit.
I am going to miss my good old boomer Dave. Something about that dynamic, having Dave with two millennials like Josh Richards and Brianna Chicken Fry, just makes for good podcasting, and I'm going to be sad to see that one go. I'm not going to lie to you. Then we have the return of the Midge. Yes, the return of the Midge. So you remember like 5 years ago, Logan had this like midget that he had bought like back in the day. I think he used to call him like Dwarf Mamba. That was like his pet's name. And 5 years ago, just like all of his other pets, he set that guy free. You know what I mean? And now, Dwarf Mamba's back. So, we're going to be checking out all of these good jamokes and more on Lost Aux Media. I'm not going to hold you too much longer, folks. Before we get into our first segment, I do want to give you a little bit of an update. You guys remember, a couple episodes back, I had talked about the Hawk a Tooie girl, right? Oh, look, I got some Christmas fuzz on my jacket. But yeah, if you remember, a couple episodes back, we were talking about the Hawk Tooie girl, and I told you that I felt like when she was promoting these crypto coins and stuff like that, that I felt she had a team behind her that was pushing her in a direction business-wise that was maybe going to dig her in a hole that she probably didn't want to be in, right? And then, maybe not even a week after talking about that, she ends up launching a meme crypto coin and rug pulls this shit out of everyone. Naturally, people were pretty pissed about this. She ends up going on hiatus for 2 weeks after that. Like, I'm talking no Twitter posts, no Instagram posts, not even posting episodes of her podcast. Like, legitimately, for 2 weeks, she just said, fuck it. Didn't even post any episodes of the podcast. You figure you would want to keep the business going as usual, right? So a lot of people are making jokes online, on Twitter. They're like, man, this Hawk Tooie chick's been asleep for like 2 weeks. Because literally the last thing people heard her say was, okay, guys, I'm getting tired now. I'm going to go to bed, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And it was when she had a Twitter space, and CoffeeZilla was all in her grill about this rug pull. So people go, oh, this Hawk Tooie girl, she's been asleep for 2 weeks. Well, apparently now she's awake. And the first thing that she ends up posting on Twitter, sorry, hit the wrong button. The first thing she ends up posting on Twitter is this. She writes, I take this situation extremely seriously. Isn't that crazy? You get these fucking crazy hillbillies, they say stuff like that. There should never be two Lees back to back. You shouldn't say extremely seriously. You shouldn't say like fabulously beautifully, you know what I mean, in the same sentence. It just sounds crazy. But this is what we're getting. So she writes, I take this situation extremely seriously and want to address my fans, the investors who have been affected, and the broader community. I am fully cooperating with and am committed to assisting the legal team representing the individuals impacted, as well as to help recover the truth, hold the responsible parties accountable, that's Rich, and resolve this matter. If you have experienced losses related to this, please contact Burick Law using the link below. Now, this is rich. I find this to be kind of rich because she's basically posting saying, like, I'm going to try to help find the people who are responsible for this. Bitch, you're responsible for this. You and your team are responsible for this. She's trying to do the whole classic influencer deal where they go, man, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. She does the whole Shaggy. It wasn't me. You know, so who was it? So we're going to be keeping tabs on this and talking about any developments that may arrive from this as they happen. I just wanted to let you guys know about that little bit before we talk about Matan Evan destroying Whitney Cummings because, like I said, we talked about it on previous episodes. All right, so now let's get into this Matan Evans and Whitney Cummings business. Yes. Sorry about that little pause. Had to use that good old cough button. Ethan Klein. So let's check out this intro. This is kind of rich. Whitney I had talked about, ironically enough, I'm just putting this together, when I first had talked about this Hawk Tuah girl. One of the first podcasts this Hawk Tuah chick did was Whitney Cummings' podcast. And she was one of those people that, like, before this girl had an actual team and stuff, was trying to, like, get Hawk Tuah on her side. And that's where I started talking about Whitney Cummings and how much of just like a fake bitch she is and how she would just like use anyone and anything within her arm's length to try to like boost her fame, numbers, whatever you want, ticket sales, if you will. So now you think like Whitney Cummings' podcast is called Good For You, right? She does all this like self-help bullshit. You'll hear a lot of times her say the phrase, women in the industry have to work twice as hard just to get half as far, right? She's one of them. So I, for one, would not expect someone like Whitney Cummings to do a Matan Evans show. Because if you do just a hint of Googling, you'd be able to find out that this guy is going to make an ass out of you or at least try his hardest. So if you are going to do it, at least try to come a little prepared, right? Let's see if Whitney Cummings ends up coming prepared.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the podcast. For today's guest, we have 10 Mile, welcome in. We also have Whitney Cummings, welcome in. How you doing?
What you mean?
Welcome in.
Where do you want me here?
What you mean?
Yeah, you sit right there. And then we have the
I
co-host.
thought this is my episode.
Huh? Welcome in the co-host.
I thought this is my episode.
Yeah, you and
You
her.
said this was a solo episode. I came all the way down here from fucking Vegas,
Yeah,
man.
you and her.
Listen, man, you owe me fucking money for this shit, man.
Ooh, so now look at this. Look, you could see it on Whitney's face. Tensions are rising in the room, huh? And she has no idea what the fuck is happening here. Like, but if you've watched Matan's show before, you would have an idea of what's happening here. You see this skinny little white guy, right? With this Lakers jersey. Can't see it in his face right now. Let's go back like 5 seconds.
Down here from fucking Vegas,
Yeah,
man.
This guy right here, he's always on the show. He's like one of the dudes that like helps Matan fuck with people. This guy over here always just he doesn't say a word ever. The entire show. Anytime he's always on here, the guests are always like, hey man, what's up? What's up with the mask? Whatever. He just fucking ices them completely. A lot of times, tries to fuck with their stuff. So now Whitney's sitting here, scared out of her goddamn mind. Like, look at her fucking face here. You know what I mean? So she, like, thinks that this is an actual situation. Matan, right from the rip, is fucking with her. And I'm not going to lie, it's gold. I mean, look at her response to this whole situation. She's like, what the fuck is happening here?
Welcome in.
Where do you want me here?
What you mean?
Yeah, you sit right there. And then we have the
I thought
co-host.
this is my episode.
Huh? Welcome in the co-host.
I thought this is my episode.
Yeah, you
You
and
said
her.
this was a solo episode. I came all the way down here from fucking Vegas,
Yeah,
man.
you and her.
Listen, man, you owe me fucking money for this shit, man. I came all the way down here from Vegas, man.
I don't know what
You want me to go get my fucking blast? Alright. I got something for both of you. You too.
Wait, I'm
You
sorry.
too, ho. I got...
She goes, oh, wait, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm gonna get my fucking blaster. He goes, you know what? I got something for both of y'all motherfuckers. He calls her a goddamn hoe, right? Now, normally, this is where white women in Los Angeles would try to pull the gangster card, right? And they go, who you calling some goddamn hoe? Like, if this was Bad Baby, Oh, no. This would be a whole different situation. You call this woman a hoe. Okay? A woman like Whitney Cummings, though, she takes it on the chin, and she gets really, really fucking scared, even though this guy, like, weighs maybe 75 pounds. Like, this guy is skinny as fuck, right? So, like, Whitney's got just like hand sanitizer, she has a 99.9% chance of knocking this guy the fuck out if something were to actually happen. She's still scared out of her goddamn mind, right? So this whole thing's happening. She thinks it's real, and you could see it in her reaction.
All right, I got something for both of you. You too.
Wait, I'm
You
sorry.
too, ho. I'm gonna go get my fucking blaster. I got some for all you fools, man.
For all us what? I would like to apologize. That man seems unhinged, and I do not want to be responsible for the...
Are you a member of the Nation of Islam?
I'm not.
Look at that. As soon as she gets settled down, she's still shell-shocked from the whole situation. He goes, "Are you a member of the Nation of Islam?" You know, right down to business, you know? That's this guy's shtick. He's gonna try to fucking like rattle the shit out of you. He's gonna try to shake you off your base as fast as he possibly can. You know what I mean? This is a good tactic in these podcasts, especially if you want it to be funny and you want you to be the only one behind the gags, right? You want to shake the fuck out of the goddamn guests as much as you possibly can so that they're like disheveled. They have no idea what's going on left from right, and then you can just control the entire situation. Matan's very good for this, and he's pretty much got Whitney right where he wants him.
I don't think...
Now you can sit in the middle if you want, now that he's out of here. I just had to lock the door in case he gets his blaster. Go ahead, finish the question, please.
You mean the answer?
Yeah. About the Nation of Islam.
I'm not... Do you Google your guests at all before or no?
A little bit. I do some research.
Okay.
Ooh, so now this is a very, very kind of fucked up statement from Whitney, right? A lot of times these guests, when these people get like disheveled like this, like I'm explaining, when they get their cages rattled a little bit, their first response is to come back with like some form of animosity, right? Or like they say some backhanded, like condescending shit to try to make you seem like an idiot, right? So that they can kind of maybe get the power dynamic at least a little bit back on their side, right? Or at least to try to make you look like an idiot because you're doing a good job of making them look like an idiot. Whitney is doing this like almost flawlessly right now, right? He starts asking her questions because of how embarrassed she is about what the fuck just happened and how scared she actually was. She sits there and goes, "Do you even Google your guests?" Like, how condescending, right? Now, think about this. Did she Google Matan before she got here? Because if she did, she would know that the two people that she just walked into the room with were people that he has on every single episode. She would know that this is a gag. Now, obviously, I'm sure she doesn't believe this guy's actually going to get a gun because she'd be screaming her ass off and trying to run out of the room. But she doesn't know if this dude's, like, dangerous or not, right?
Guests at all before or no?
A little bit. I do some research.
Okay, yeah. I think that would have been in there.
Oh, it didn't mention it. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not. Do you know that person?
No, I don't. He was supposedly he's coming back. He was the second guest for the episode.
So I'm not sure where you're from. I think whatever this... Who's that?
He's the co-host for today.
I'll copy that.
His name...
Who's that? Now, this would be a perfect time for Matan to go back to her and go, "Hey, bitch, did you Google me before you came on the goddamn episode? Okay? Did you Google? Because if you know Google, then you know him. You know the guy with the blaster, you know?" Like, this is what I'm saying. They do this to try to make themselves, like, feel a little bit better in these types of situations.
His name is Mike.
Hi, Mike. Maybe this is why your numbers are higher than mine. You just...
Go ahead.
No, I'm learning a lot about what's hip.
Okay, so you want me to continue?
It's your show, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slow you down. That guy seems like deeply unhinged.
Who, the guy who just left?
Yeah.
No, he was supposed to be the second guest for the episode, but hopefully he'll come back. I'll shoot with him once you leave. I tried setting it up with you beforehand, but I didn't know he was gonna just get really angry like that.
Did that shake you up at all?
No, we've tried shooting with him a couple of times. We usually schedule with him and Longneck at the end of the episode. But they usually don't get here. He got here now, but we'll fly him out from Vegas next time. To make
Okay,
it a little
it's just
bit
my
easier.
boyfriend is outside. He's not gonna be wild, right?
Oh, he's probably just sitting with him. They're probably using that TV that we have outside to watch the episode.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Look, you know what's funny about this? Her boyfriend is professional skateboarder Chris Cole, which ironically enough, I grew up kind of like being a big fan of, you know what I mean? I grew up a little skateboarder, a little punk rat myself, okay? So Chris Cole was somebody that I was pretty cool with back in the Dizzy, right? Then I grow up, I come to find out that this guy has a fucking history of domestic violence, right? Whitney ends up having a kid with some other dude. Now she's shacked up with Chris Cole. This guy has no problem, like, allegedly slapping bitches around, but she's, like, worried about this skinny little twink dude sitting here with her boyfriend in the goddamn lobby or something like that. So I thought that was kind of, like, very, very odd. You know what I mean? But now, that's just the first gag. You know, there's more gags to come. So they make very quick work of fucking with Whitney, or as you saw, right from the rip. Now watch this. This dude over here in the corner, he's going to steal her drink. And this is going to start playing into more and more bits that happen throughout the episode.
Why did you decide to get so much plastic surgery?
You know, thank you for asking that.
Good
I always
question.
find it a big compliment when people think I got a lot of plastic surgery.
Oh, you're saying you didn't?
Well, I used to get Botox and I stopped getting Botox. Do you see my wrinkles?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't get Botox anymore.
Now look, see? I paused it at the perfect time. This guy going straight for the drink. Whitney is none the wiser. Matan did some real good shit here. He sees that Whitney is a woman who's very much like takes a lot of self-worth from her image, right? So he goes and he asks her this bombshell of a question. He goes, what's up with these people thinking that you got a lot of plastic surgery online, right? He knows that this is going to get that snowball going. She's like, oh, a question about myself and like this plastic surgery stuff. I could talk for hours about this. So he knows as soon as he does this, his other buddy over there is going to be free to do whatever he wants. Now watch this.
And I stopped getting Botox. Do you see my wrinkles?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't get Botox anymore because I thought it made me look crazy, but I had a television executive tell me that I looked tired and haggard when I was 26, and I went and got Botox. I didn't get filler, though, because...
Oh, so you got plastic surgery?
Well, plastic surgery is different. I got plastic surgery on my boobs.
But you didn't get like the jawline stuff or nothing like that?
No.
What were you bored with?
Bullshit. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if she got jawline surgery or whatever, but you get your tits done, that's plastic surgery. And Matan's asking you if you got plastic surgery. You're telling him no. And then, like, in the same breath, you go, oh, yeah, I got my tits done. I got Botox. You know, I got wrinkles now because I stopped doing it like 2 weeks ago, but I got an appointment scheduled in like a week and a half. You know, it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, sometimes I really worry and wonder to myself, do these people actually listen to the shit that's coming out of their mouths, right? So now check this out. You just watch Whitney get her drink stolen, right? Now they're going to keep fucking around with her, right? Her drink got stolen. She used to have a coffee. Remember the coffee? Somehow the coffee fucking gone, right? No more coffee. Only thing there is a cell phone. So now, watch this. She's going to keep talking to this guy. She has no idea the drink got stolen. On top of that, she's not even aware that she brought a goddamn drink in the first place. Matan's fucked her up that much. She brought 2 giant-ass drinks and a cell phone, right? He rattled her cage so bad, she doesn't even remember what she brought to the table.
Oh, I have another good question. Do you think you're one of the 250 comedians in the world?
Of whose?
There's only 250 of them. Would you consider yourself in that category?
I think so. I think
And that's being generous.
generous with how many comedians are. Would you
Yeah.
consider yourself in that category?
Oh, I hope not.
Why not?
I hope that I'm on a different list or something.
What kind of list?
Now, see, this right here is rich. She again thinks that Matan is being genuine with her in this question. She doesn't even realize that this is stemming from like a statement that Joe Rogan had made, like, I don't know if it was this past year or a couple years ago, Joe Rogan's dumbass goes on his podcast. He goes, man, there's really only like 250 like actual comedians in the world, man. He's like, I'm telling you. And they're all at the mothership. They're all at the comedy mothership. You know why? Because I'm the one who decides like who's a comedian and who's not, man. And the craziest part is I'm not even funny, man. Like, that's like Joe Rogan's whole thing, you know? So he is the one that kind of coined this statement. Like, there's only really 250 real comedians in the world, you know? And this is crazy because, like, what even constitutes as a real comedian? What, because you get paid, right? Because, yeah, Joe Rogan gets paid, but that's because he's Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Like, he started his career in comedy, but this guy's pretty much just paid comedians to be around him his whole career. So he's kind of like just blended in with the actual good ones, right? The ones that can actually make people laugh. This guy is only good for like humping stools on stage, sweating his ass off through his shirt and yelling at the crowd like Sam Kinison. You know what I mean? Like this guy is not some comedic genius, you know? But he goes and makes a statement that bold. There's only 250 comedians. I hope he's not thinking he's one of them. You know, so Matan, he caught on to this statement. He knows that Whitney's good friends with Joe. So he goes on to ask her this question. She thinks he's being totally serious. She's like, are you in that list, do you think? He's like, hell no, I hope I'm not in that guy. He's like, I'm way better than you assholes.
Generous with how many comedians are? Would you consider yourself in that category?
Oh, I hope not.
Why not?
I hope that I'm on a different list or something.
What kind of list?
Just a different... I wouldn't consider myself a comedian, but if somebody did, hopefully it wouldn't be in the 250. The 250 is for only the big dogs.
Sorry, I got lost in your earring. I like your earrings.
Oh, no, they're fake. It's okay. Mm-hmm. But really, where do you think you would rank?
Like in the hierarchy of them. Oh, I don't know. I think I would definitely probably be in the 250 of like comedians that are working and touring. But
it's not about comedians who are working and touring. It's just there's only like 250 comedians who are, again, being generous, real comedian, like the comedian style. Like Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan.
Sure, yeah.
And
Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan. See, so now he's even giving her hints. You know what I mean? And I'm sure she doesn't watch like every single episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, you know? I'm sure she's not hip with exactly what he's talking about. But it's nice for us, you know what I mean? It's nice for me, because I know, so I get to laugh at this. And now, you know. See how that works? This is exactly how this show's supposed to work.
You consider yourself in that list?
I'm not at the level of Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan, but I think I'd be in the top 250.
Do you think Joe Rogan...
Dude, craziest part about this, Whitney's comedy is dog shit. She's way funnier than Joe Rogan. She's like, I'm telling you, she's like miles of, like, Whitney, you put Whitney Cummings, you stack Whitney Cummings up against Joe Rogan comedy-wise, I mean, who's the greatest comedian you could think of in your head? That's Whitney Cummings. When she's standing next to Joe Rogan, not only is she like physically taller than him, she's like metaphorically taller than him. She's actually a better comedian than him. Now, again, doesn't make her a good comedian. That's like saying she's a better comedian than me. You know what I mean? I'm just a regular dude. You know, she's the one who gets paid for this shit. So, but to put Joe Rogan, to say that, I mean, Whitney, you're selling yourself short, bitch. You need to think of yourself better than this. And you know why she's doing this? She's going to touch on this later. You know why she says stuff like that? Like, I'm not at the level of Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle. I mean, obviously she's not at the level of Dave Chappelle, but Joe Rogan, that's fucking crazy. Don't even say shit like that. She says stuff like that because she wants to kiss the ass. She doesn't want to have confrontation with these comedians. So she kisses their ass. She glazes them up on the camera. And she's going to admit this later on.
The level of Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan, but I think I'd be in the top 250.
Do you think Joe Rogan would consider you one of the 250?
I do.
Oh, that's. Are you happy about that or no? Do you take that like as a good thing or no?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask. This isn't.
Look at that. Good old that 250. I'm telling you, that's crazy shit right there. Like, I can't believe Joe Rogan thinks that he has the comedy chops to even think to say something like that. I'm telling you, I did like almost the whole episode on just Joe Rogan's like newest special. He did like a live Netflix comedy special, and I actually compared one of his old specials to one of his new specials. And if you go back and watch that, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This guy should not ever consider himself to be a comedian. Like, you're high as fuck if you think Joe Rogan is a comedian, let alone someone who can say he's part of the only 250 real comedians in the world. Now, check this out. She's about to start talking some shit, right? Whitney's about to start talking about other comedians. And like I told you, she likes to kiss these comedians' ass, so she won't say anything bad about them. And Matan's about to start trying to bait her, and she's about to pretty much admit, like, I won't say anything because I don't want conflict with these guys, which is such a pussy thing to say as a comedian.
I again, as the 7th worst comedian, I think my opinion would be off because
you would only know comedians that you're better than. You're saying because if
I don't know good comedy because I'm one of the worst comics. You know what I mean?
Must be familiar with bad comedy then.
Yeah, I make it.
So
nailed it. She nailed it. Couldn't have said it better myself. But now, see, she's trying to play into this whole thing, right? She's trying to play into it with Matan. She's trying to make it seem to us, the audience, that she's not getting fazed by this shit, you know? She thinks she wants you to think the haters don't affect her. Trust me. Whitney is the first person that these haters are going to affect by talking shit about her.
So who are the other 9 members? They're right on that level.
Good point. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
We can move on if you don't want to answer. There were like 5 different names I was looking for.
Can you show them to me? But we won't.
I don't have them. I don't have them listed.
Yeah.
I couldn't name them.
I know who you want me to say, and I just
There's
can't.
like 10 different people I would.
See, she goes, I know who you want me to say. Basically, she was saying earlier that she was like on a list of like the top or the 10 worst comedians of all time or something. Someone made like a YouTube video. They put her as like number 7 or something in like the 10 worst comedians of all time. So Matan starts asking her questions. He goes, well, who do you actually think are like the worst comedians ever? Like the 10 worst, you know? And she goes, I don't know. I can't really talk on that because I don't make good comedy. I make bad comedy. So who am I to talk about bad comedy? Good old Matan, always stroking that genius. He even finds a way to twist that around. He goes, well, if you're a bad comedian, then you should be at least familiar with bad comedy, right? You know, if you make it, you know, you suck so bad, you should know what bad comedy is, right? So who, to you, are the 10 worst comedians? I'm asking you this question. So now she goes, I don't know. I don't want to say. I know who you want me to say. I know who you want me to say. I can't say it. This is not how the industry works, Matan.
5 different names I was looking for.
Can you show them to me? But we won't.
I don't have them. I don't have them listed.
Yeah.
I couldn't name them.
I know who you want me to say, and I just
There's
can't.
like 10 different people I would take as a good answer.
No, I know.
There's no specific one.
You and I are both looking at each other. I know who you want me to say.
Well, I know who number 1 on the list is.
I'm staying out of it.
We'll cut it out.
Because I have to see these people every night.
How about this? I'll make you a deal. If you say it, we'll think about cutting it out. We'll flip.
So now, you see, Whitney goes, I have to see these people every night. I don't want to say this stuff. I don't want to talk bad shit about them because I have to see them at the comedy clubs and shit. Who gives a fuck? Goddamn. If somebody's bad at their job, you should tell them, man. Like, if I was working in, like, some factory and, like, my job was getting affected because somebody else was bad at their job, right? I would go and say something to that person. I'd be like, come on, man, you got to pick it up a little bit, you know? And, hey, if I was on a podcast, if people actually wanted to hear about my regular-ass job, I'd talk shit about that person on the podcast, too. I would not give a fuck if I had to see that person the next day. Let them know that they suck at their job. Whitney, you got to tell them. I'm telling you. This is what's wrong with comedians nowadays. Like, it used to not be like this. Like, back in the day in comedy, like, they would talk shit about each other. They would go on the Howard Stern show, Opie and Anthony, and be like, that guy fucking sucks balls. They would not give a fuck. That Patrice O'Neal, that was, like, the only thing that guy did. He's going on other shows talking shit about other comedians. He was, like, true to the craft. You know what I mean? Now, these guys all use each other. They're, like, merging audiences, going on everyone's shows. You ever notice how every time one comedian, like, has a new special, a movie coming out, a book, you see them on every single fucking comedy podcast? This is why they don't talk shit about each other. Because they want to use each other for the audiences and different things like that. It's cool you want to, beef up the community and shit, but it's basically a cheat code nowadays. It's almost like you don't even have to be funny. You just got to be associated with the right people, you know? It's kind of sickening in a way. So she's sitting there talking about how, you know, she can't talk smack about these comedians. She's got to see them every night. Who gives a fuck? But now this is where some magic happens. She's about to start looking around for her drink. She goes, man, I thought I came in here with one of these goddamn like seltzer water things, you know, like a Celsius or something. I thought she ran into Theo Vaughn before they walked into the studio. He hooked her up with like 5 Celsiuses, man. He's like, hey, man, can you do me a favor and drink this on Matan podcast? You know, maybe sport some of that Celsius. So now she's looking for her drink while he's asking her this question. This is great.
I'll make you a deal. If you say it, we'll think about cutting it out. We'll flip a coin.
No, I'm not. No. I saw your Big J Okerson saga with cutting his address.
Oh yeah, well we cut it out, didn't we? We accidentally left in his driver license ID though.
Oh, that's funny. Keep going. I just need to get my drink, my water.
Look at this.
What the fuck?
Yo. Hey, yo. You can't just get the fuck up in the middle of my goddamn podcast like that. See, this is why I'm still conflicted. I don't know if I would ever have guests on this show. Because I got to be able to do what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I can't get somebody on here trying to play the other side. You'd fuck up the whole flow of the show. You know? It's like we got to like be on the same page here. Whitney, you got to be like down with the jokes. You can't be getting up in the middle of the goddamn shit. You know what I mean? You got to be smart enough to pick up by now that one of these guys might have stolen your stuff, you know? And she's going to go try to get this drink out of the fridge, right? And she's not even going to realize that it's like completely different than the one she brought. She's just going to bring it back without even caring about it, you know? Now watch this. This is going to be gold. This is going to be the initial moment where she starts to realize her drink is gone.
Cut it out, didn't we? We accidentally left in his driver license ID though.
Oh, that's funny. Keep going. I just need to get my drink, my water.
Okay.
I'm listening.
No, I'll just wait for a moment.
So where does no, just keep going. I got it. What the fuck?
Look at that. Let's go back a little bit. I want to show you when this guy pulls up this curtain. I'm actually only just realizing this now. He took both of her drinks. Remember I told you earlier, I was like, she had this big like coffee thing and then she had a little seltzer. Let's see. There you go. Now you can see it on the camera. So she had a big little coffee thing. She had a little seltzer thing like that, right? I didn't even realize he actually stole like both of her drinks. Look at this.
For a moment.
Look, right there's her little coffee thingy or whatever. And then right next to it's going to be her seltzer water.
What the fuck?
Pulls it up, puts it right back on the table. That's actually pretty goddamn good. I didn't even see him swipe the first one.
You can't even drink yet, right?
No, I'm just renting the studio from Long Neck.
Okay. Oh, why didn't you tell me there was a water?
What the fuck?
We're losing her. Whitney Cummings is losing her way. I'm telling you. Like, you gotta be fucking out of your goddamn mind. There's no way he's hitting you with, like, that much shit left and right that you were not able to pick up on the fact that you just are, like, missing shit off the table. Like, I have, like, so much stuff on this table you can't see, right? If some of it just starts going missing in the middle of the fucking show, like, I'm gonna notice, dude. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, man, I never had 2 iPads on this desk. Like, there's always only been one. Like, I'm gonna notice that some of this shit's gone, you know? It doesn't matter how many people I'm talking to. There could be 100 people in this room, okay? I'm gonna notice, okay?
You got this one for me or for you?
No, for
I can't
me.
drink this stuff.
I forgot that I brought this out. Sorry.
Okay.
You can't drink. This is not a sponsor. Promo code
Oh, you're
Aspire Energy Drink. I love it.
Oh, that's for sure getting cut out.
Look at that. He's cutting out her goddamn promo codes. This guy's smacking her goddamn drinks off the goddamn table. They don't know what the fuck. Like, she has no idea what the fuck is going on. Only thing she can do is laugh. And the funny thing is, this is genuine. She's, like, actually, like somewhat having a good time. I feel like maybe she likes to get tortured like this. You know what I mean? She's gotta, you know? And in reality, Matan's just actually doing a good job of being funny. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is all gold. To see Whitney squirming like this is the only reason why people love Matan's show so much. They want to see these celebrities and comedians squirm like fucking worms in a little bucket. You know what I mean? Like, they want to see that. And she's sitting there going like, in the beginning when she gets introduced and all the weird shit's happening, she goes, I'm learning so much. I'm starting to learn what's like actually hip nowadays. It's not that this is hip with like young people or anything. This is like you're walking into like a rat trap and people are seeing that happen. It'd be like if you were sitting across from a room, right? And somebody that didn't know you were watching them was like about to put their hand in a mousetrap because they didn't know how it felt or something like that. Let's say that's the situation. And you're watching them. You're seeing that happen. You're not going to take your eyes away from that. You know what I mean? You're going to wait until they make contact with that rat trap and start screaming like a bitch. You know, and this is what's happening here. This is why we like this so much. We want to see you squirm, goddammit. Look at these guys smack her shit away, start really fucking with her.
Fire energy drink. I love it.
Oh, that's for sure getting cut out.
Shit! Literally, you just cut it out in real time.
Okay, well, we'll move on to the next question, okay?
See, she's loving this. Matan and his boy, they could start smacking her in the face, spitting in her face, you know what I mean? She'd probably start trying to get it on with these goddamn boys. She'd end up becoming a predator. You know, these are some underage children right here. We watched Whitney commit a goddamn cardinal sin. You know, they're torturing her. She's actually loving this goddamn shit. This is unsettling for me. I don't know if it's unsettling for you. Okay, so now, let's check this out. This guy, he's about to start really fucking with her and her baby, right? I told you earlier Whitney had a baby, right? This baby, ugly as fuck, okay? And Matan's going to start asking questions about this. This is gold.
Yes.
I don't know much about him, to be honest. Who's my favorite?
He does all the roasts and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you did a lot of those roasts, too. You were on, like, the roastings. That's how you became famous?
Yes, sir.
So, here's a little game for you. What can you try doing, like, coming up with some quick roast for your newborn baby?
What the fuck?
This is such a funny concept to you? For you to roast your goddamn newborn baby? I'm telling you, this is gold. This is actually funny. You know what I mean? But it can't be that funny, you know? Like, it can't be Akash Singh Photoshop 9 dicks into your mouth funny. Like, this is not what's happening here, okay? But now watch this. He asked her this question, right? As a comedian, you should be like, yeah, dude, my baby's got like a big forehead. You know, he came out, his head was all cone-shaped and shit. You know that happens to babies? They come out, their heads are like cones. They have to like form them back to like, they put their heads in like this like metal square contraption. Turns their heads square as fuck. Like, babies' heads are like clay. You could, if you really wanted to, you could put a helmet on a baby that's any shape that you want. Like a star or like a crescent moon. You know what I mean? Maybe like one of those like flowers that's like every petal is just like an equally rounded off part like the other one. You could do like that. You put the helmet on the baby every night before the baby goes to sleep. Next thing you know, this baby's head is going to form into like whatever shape the helmet is. You could really get creative. If you had a newborn baby, you could make them look however you want. Like their heads are practically like balls of clay. You know what I mean? So he starts asking about her wanting to roast her baby if she's willing to do it on the show. As a comedian, you should have a couple things in the pocket ready. You know what I mean? It's your baby. Have some fun. You know what I mean? She won't do it.
I don't know if I could roast my baby. There's not, when you're roasting someone, there has to be like something they've done that's, you know, worth going after, and he hasn't done much negative yet. Except
I could come up with stuff for him, and I don't even know how he looks.
I know.
Is it a boy or a girl?
He's a boy, and I don't have a ton like, you know, to make fun of him about. There's not a
come up with something. Like if I had to think, I don't know. I'll try thinking of something at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, like if I had a weapon, he wouldn't be able to defend himself.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
You don't have.
I don't know, dude. But like, how can you not roast your goddamn baby? I'll do it for you. As a matter of fact, you want to see what this bitch's baby looks like? I got it preloaded right here. Look at this asshole.
What the fuck?
This baby right here. This baby almost looks like one of E.T.'s cousins or something like that. This baby's forehead is so goddamn big. eyes buggy as fuck, mouth small. He's got like David Portnoy mouth. You know what I mean? Remember I was telling you how Dave has like the mouth of like a old trailer trashed white woman. You know what I mean? Like Dave's got that white woman trailer park trash mouth. You know what I mean? This baby's got the same thing. This baby looks deformed. Okay, I'm sorry. They all look like that. The fact that this one's Whitney's though is making it a little juicier. I'm telling you. Remember I was saying how you can make their heads like whatever shape you actually want? You look this, she might have gotten one up on the game. She looks like she's had this baby in a turtleneck and had the turtleneck up to like his eye line. You know what I mean? This baby looks like whatever's inside of his head is slowly starting to get squeezed out from the top. This guy has got like Megamind syndrome. This baby looks like a human skin-colored Megamind, okay? There you go, Whitney. I did it. We roasted her baby. Give it up. Give it up for Whitney Cummings' baby getting roasted as shit. How can she not, like, I mean, come on. You're a comedian. You gotta come with the quickness. Just because it's your baby don't mean shit. So you can get on stage and roast your best friends and talk about how they're, like, fat, ugly, how they cheat on their wives, how their wives cheat on them, how they got small dicks and shit like that. You can't look at your baby and be like, that motherfucker's forehead is huge. You can't just say no stupid shit like that. You don't even gotta get crazy. You know what I mean? You could have just said something real innocent. You could have turned to Matan and been like, my baby's got a really small dick. You know what I mean? Like, that's true, and it's funny. You know, so like, come on. You don't gotta get crazy. You know, play into the bit a little bit, bitch. Like, you're killing me. So remember I was telling you she's about to start spilling them beans? She's about to basically tell Matan that the only reason she's doing this podcast, the only reason any of these comedians do this podcast is because Matan's numbers are high. And they don't want to feel like they're having like some form of FOMO and getting left out by not getting asked by a 17-year-old kid to be on their show. This was one of the most pathetic things I've seen in a long time. But I will say this. It was refreshing to actually hear the truth.
We just did it yesterday.
You ironed this.
No, he tried to get the fly. He wasn't trying to scare you.
Okay. Huh.
There was a fly right there.
I just want you guys to know. Not
Whitney's like getting like hot and bothered and shit. Like every single time. I'm telling you. Every single time one of these like motherfuckers is smacking a goddamn drink, Matan's roasting the fuck out of her. This guy like smacked the wall, you know what I mean, right next to her head. She goes like, oh! But like you could see she starts getting like head, and she's like, oh. She's like, goddamn, I'm so wet. You know what I mean? Like she's getting crazy over these goddamn children. Okay, so Whitney needs to be put on a list, a watch list.
Get the fly. He wasn't trying to scare you.
okay. Huh.
There was a fly right there.
I just want you guys to know. Not only are we adults with careers coming to do this, because when you start doing podcasts, it just becomes jury duty. I'm only doing this because Santino's did it. Santino only did it because like we're all just doing your podcast to come get disrespected.
So people don't even know why they're doing it?
No, none of us.
I blame it
None
all
of
on
us.
I blame it all on Bobby Lee. He set this up.
But none of us want to seem like we didn't get asked. So that's why
What do you mean? I don't understand.
So we come on your show because we don't want it to seem like we didn't get asked by a 17-year-old to like
Oh, okay. So you wanted to seem like
us
you were in the group.
in a laundry room. Yeah.
Look at Whitney, dude, spitting hardcore goddamn facts. Is that not the craziest thing? Like, when she said that, like I said, I was so refreshed. I was so happy to hear one of these asshole comedians actually say it out loud. Like, yeah, we just do the other shows because we don't want to feel like, we don't want our audiences and, like, the world to feel like we didn't get asked to do the show. So, like, now she sees Andrew Santino do it. Andrew Santino sees Bobby Lee do it. So eventually, like, one of these comedians do it. They start reaching out to Matan, probably. It would not surprise me if this woman right here talked to her team and was like, why am I seeing all these comedian guys like that I'm working with? I'm seeing them every night in the comedy clubs. I won't talk bad about them on their podcast. Why am I seeing them all do Matan's show? I'm not on it. This guy's numbers are like twice the size of mine. Matan's show gets like 100,000 views. So Whitney's getting like 50. You know what I mean? Hey, look, both of those are better than mine, but in the grand scheme of things, Matan's not even doing that crazy. You know what I mean? Like, Impaulsive has fallen off. They're getting like 100,000 views. You know what I mean? You need to start getting into like the 500,000, the millions. You know, we need Mr. Beast numbers in this goddamn bitch. She's getting all crazy over this like FOMO type situation. To hear her say this was actually kind of refreshing.
Perspective.
So people don't even know why they're doing it.
No, none of us.
I blame it
None
all
of
on.
us.
I blame it all on Bobby Lee.
He
set this up.
But none of us want to seem like we didn't get asked, so that's why.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
So we come on your show because we don't want it to seem like we didn't get asked by a 17-year-old to like.
Oh, okay. So you wanted to seem like
us
you were in the group.
in a laundry room. Yeah.
Oh well, that's not true because I've sent an email to everybody.
That's good shit. Give it up for Whitney. Speaking that goddamn truth, I am so happy to hear it, my girl. I am so happy to hear it. Now let's end this Matan Evan bit on this last one. He gives her one last good roast, and I'm telling you, this one's good.
Do you think the funniest female comedian is funnier than a crow who knows several phrases?
I think I'd have to see the crow do the phrases.
Bitch, you know goddamn well a crow doing a couple different catchphrases is funnier than your goddamn ass, motherfucker. I like that one. That last little bit. So let's give it up for Whitney Cummings and Matan Evans. On, I don't even know what's the name of Matan's show. Is it like the Matan Evan show? Like I legitimately have no idea what it's even called. So let's have ourselves a little bit of a smoke break, why don't we? You know? Let's see what we got on the music tube. This is actually a pretty good smoking song. So, on our next segment, we're going to be getting into the week segment, the What's Eating Ethan Klein segment. So let's have ourselves a couple puffs, we'll listen to a couple tunes, and get right back into it on this episode of Lost Aux Media.
Take the road through the trees, kick through the leaves, fear they may follow me. There's a voice on the breeze, weak at the knees, they are just ghost stories.
Guy's got a weird voice, but I'm not gonna lie, I dig it. You know, it's a very good chill smoke song. You know, you have yourselves a couple puffs. Santa Claus needs a couple puffs. You know what I'm saying? How you think he gets all these Christmas presents done in one goddamn night? You know what I mean? It's that ganja weed. That's how he stays relaxed up in them freeway skies, baby. So, let's see, what do we have for the week segment? If you remember, in like past episodes, I talked about how Ethan got into this little tiff with Ian during an episode, talking about how they don't want to have like HR meetings live on air. Ethan starts bringing up how he's so responsive. Then Ian starts bringing receipts about how like every time Ian has to, talk to Ethan about a specific topic that's important, Ethan just kind of blows him off, leaves him hanging. So they end up having like a good old HR like fight in the middle of the goddamn show, right? And I thought that was kind of interesting, especially because pretty much everybody there is like, we like to have meetings, Ethan. Like, we want to have more meetings so that the show goes smoother, so that we can know what's happening a little bit more, so that things are planned out, right? So that we're not like missing segments that we maybe promised to our listeners or things along those lines. And of course, Ethan's sitting there trying to claw his way out of the situation, and everybody in the crew is like slamming him down with receipts. Like, what about this time? What about this time? What about this time? What about this time, right? And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because in the episode that comes, it's their last live stream before they end up going on break, right? And during this last live stream, they end up doing it again. They talk about how Ethan is not responsive to Ian when Ian has these important questions. And just like you may think, it ends up leading to them not being able to deliver on a promise to their listeners. This was kind of funny. Check this out.
Yikes! Well, Dan, if you have got all these great ideas, where are you at? You're sitting there all sour.
Ian had a fantastic idea that he had been pitching for like a month, and you never moved on it.
What do you mean? You want to have an HR thing again? He mentioned it to me one time.
I'm cool
and I
on
said,
the
let's
HR.
talk about it.
Ian doesn't want to.
This is Dan.
See it right away. Ethan's like, you want to have an HR thing again, bro? Like, what are you talking about, man? They're basically trying to, like, I think every year before they go on this, like, annual break, like, right before the holidays, they have, like, a 2-week break. We talked about it in the last episode. Every year before they take this break, this was actually a kind of genius move on their part. I'll explain it to you. Before they take this break, they always say to their listeners, hey, man, we're coming up with this, like, contest, right? We want you guys to do something with, like, the footage from the show. And we want you to use it in, like, a creative way, come up with, like, video ideas. And then you submit them to us. And when we get back, we'll pick the best one and we'll pay you, like, $1,000, Now, this is genius. As a YouTuber, I'm going to tell you why this is genius. Because if you're going to go on break for 2 weeks, right? Nobody's going to have anything to listen to for 2 weeks. You're not going to have any new uploads for 2 weeks, right? So that might hurt traffic to your channel. And if you're making a lot of money off of the AdSense on your YouTube channel, if you have like sponsored videos, stuff like that, you would still want like at least something coming in, right? That's like, YouTube is not like passive income. You have to be like active to keep the income coming in. So Ethan's aware of this. Ethan's a smart guy when it comes to money. That Jewiness, that's playing into full effect when it comes to money.
I'd be a pedophile for $20 million.
Anytime you hear money involved, Ethan starts pulling out all the stops. He starts getting like real alpha brain. You know what I mean? So Ethan knows, he goes, if we're going to go on break for 2 weeks, who's going to watch the show? So he goes, I got it. I got an idea. Every year we come up with a contest that has to do with footage from our show. And that way, the listeners, they have to go through the back catalog of episodes to find like funny moments and different things like that. And we have them like cut them all together and then they submit it for a contest. So that way when we're gone, they watch all of the old videos over again and we get just as much traffic. This is like a smart ass move. I'm not going to lie. This is gold. So they start basically coming up to like, well, what's the idea for this year's annual contest? I told you about that HR meeting a couple episodes back, right? The reason why Ian was trying to get in touch with Ethan so bad is because they still hadn't come up with an idea for this contest. So now they're sitting there, the last live air that they're doing before they go on break is about to end. They still haven't told the audience what the contest is for this year. They have no idea what the fuck they're even going to do. So they're sitting there, once again, having an HR meeting on air, trying to hash out what the idea is.
What do you mean? You want to have an HR thing again? He mentioned it to me one time.
I'm cool
and I
on
said,
the
let's
HR.
talk about it.
Ian doesn't want to.
This is Dan.
Like, I'm sorry, but you cannot pin that on me. He brought it up to me one time. I said we can work on it, and that's it. That's the last I heard about it.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you. Do whatever you want.
Okay, make a parody about how Dan's the biggest hater and how he just doesn't like any ideas and he's a total Grinch and you'll win $1,000 first place.
It's a better idea.
There it is.
It's arguably better, maybe.
Yeah.
You want to pitch
Especially
your
if Dan is
thing
on.
real fast, Ian?
Okay, well, let's just say, because we've gone back and forth on it, my idea was that we all sort of record a bunch of sound effects, a bunch of
too late for
noises,
that.
a bunch of singing, and it's sort of like an audio green screen contest to see who can put together the best song from all of our various contributions.
I love that.
Now I know why Ian didn't fucking respond to him, because that idea sucks. Think about that. You remember, like, I think they even did this last year. They had like a green screen contest, right? Where right before the break, they all like recorded themselves in different scenarios doing like shit in front of a green screen. They uploaded it to probably like a Google Drive, like a public Google Drive link. And then the fans could download the green screen footage and make like whatever funny videos they want. Whoever came up with the best one won a prize. So this guy wants to do like the same thing, but instead of them doing stuff in front of a green screen, they all just sit in front of a microphone and go like, and they like make like weird noises and shit. And somebody has to come up with like an audio like type of thing with that. What? That's like the stupidest fucking idea I've ever heard. So no wonder Ethan was so quick to like not respond to that. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have responded to that stupid shit either. So now they're still trying to come up with ideas for this contest. They still don't know what it is, right? Ethan made that joke about, oh, let's make the contest go back and try to like make a compilation of Dan being the biggest hater, because Dan's giving Ethan shit as he always does because Ethan was being irresponsible before this moment. So now listen to this little back and forth moment here.
If you're serious or not.
Okay, I'm being dead serious, guys. Do a goof. Do an edit. That makes Dan... Okay, here, I have a good idea.
I have one too.
Edit up Dan so it looks like he's saying like super fucked up offensive shit. Like cut it up, the words and stuff.
I have an actual idea if you want to.
Oh, look at that.
What the fuck?
Oh, my name is Love. I have an actual idea. If you want to hear it, I'm a fucking queer. You know what I mean?
I don't know, something. I sometimes I just can't think of like stuff to say about Love. I immediately go to calling him like a fag or a homo or something. We know he's not gay. Come on. So like they're sitting there. Ethan goes, oh shit, I went like back. Damn, how are we gonna fucking get out of this situation, Batman? So now they're sitting there. Ethan goes, I got a good idea. Let's make a compilation. You guys try to make Dan sound like he's saying like a fucked up, offensive, racist stuff, right? And the crew kind of doesn't jive with it. Kind of starts bringing the episode to like a screeching halt, what they're doing here, right? And Love tries to come in and like save the situation. He goes, I have an actual idea. How's about we do this? Watch what Ethan does.
If you're serious or not.
Okay, I'm being dead serious, guys. Do a goof. Do an edit. That makes Dan... Okay, here, I have a good idea.
I have one too.
Edit up Dan so it looks like he's saying like super fucked up offensive shit. Like cut it up, the words and stuff.
I have an actual idea if you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
What
I mean, mine
about
are actual ideas,
an
but...
H3 show related EXE video? A fun, short, little classic H3 Productions edit based on anything that happened this year. A little clean, little edit. I don't know. Throw it out. Just have fun, you know. Or whatever you pitch.
Denied.
What the fuck?
I love this. I loved when I saw this. I loved it. You know why? Because I feel like Love is getting a little like too fucking complacent in his goddamn position. You know what I mean? Like Ethan's been letting him get all away with a lot of shit. Throwing out crazy ideas, you know what I mean? Letting him get away with like almost kind of like running shit. Like when Ethan goes on his like celebrity poker tour things, it almost seems like Love is almost like more in command than Dan is. Pay attention to those episodes. You'll see what I'm talking about. So when I saw Love sit there and go, I got an actual idea. Like Ethan's the host of the show. What the fuck? Who do you think you are? Coming up here being like, oh, everything you're saying is like total bullshit, man.
why don't you hear my idea? It's like an actual idea, you know?
Ethan even said something back to him. He goes, well, I mean, my ideas are like actual ideas too, man. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So to see Love sit there and get denied, and especially because his idea was like fucking stupid as hell. He goes,
Oh, let's come up, the fans. They do like an edit based on anything that happened this year. Nice and clean, nice and edit. It's fast, it's smooth.
like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, what are you, fucking stupid?
Actual idea if you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
What
I mean, mine
about
are actual ideas,
an
but
H3 show related EXE video? A fun, short, little classic H3 Productions edit based on anything that happened this year. A little clean, little edit. I don't know. Throw it out. Just have fun, you know. Or whatever you pitch.
We do have a D&D thing coming up. Maybe people could do something with the characters or something. I don't know.
Fan fiction.
Fan fiction.
Let's see here.
Why did the show just grind to a screeching halt?
I was just trying to do a fun idea.
Change my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So hard to find.
We got him. Who's that? Tom Ward? That bald guy, right? That's like H3's like, what is that? Like their brand representative or some shit like that? I love that. He goes, why did the show just come to like a screeching halt? It's because nobody prepped for this moment, dude. Ian's been trying to fucking contact Ethan for like 3 goddamn weeks through WhatsApp. Ethan's like blowing him off. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. That's why it came to a screeching halt. They're literally trying to like produce the show live. You know what I mean? Like come up with the show prep live on air. You can't be doing that shit. You got to prep for these kinds of things, man. You got to prep, okay? So now you hear like the camera switcher, that guy, what is his name? Nate? You know what I mean? That El Chapo. So El Chapo's in the background. You hear him, he goes, we got this like D&D thing that we did. Like maybe they could do something with that. The D&D thing hasn't even come out yet. It's not even aired yet. At the time of them recording that live, it hadn't come out yet. But I want to transition into that D&D thing before we go into their Christmas finale. We're going to end the week segment on their Christmas finale. I want to show you some of these time codes from this D&D situation right here. This one's kind of nuts, you know what I mean? The costumes that these guys got on are like actually insane. I was like very taken aback when I saw it. I'm not gonna lie, I give these people a lot of preps for the fucking a lot of preps. I give these people a lot of props for the prep that they did when it comes to these costumes. Check this shit out. Ethan's costume's gonna blow your goddamn mind. Watch this.
Everybody, welcome. This is our first ever Dungeons and Dragons episode.
What the fuck?
Bro, look at this guy. I'm not gonna lie, I give him respect for the costume. I'm sitting here wearing like a canvas printed goddamn Santa Claus outfit that's making me sweat my balls off. I'm not even lying to you right now. And this guy, he's got full blown ass makeup. He's in a full lion like warrior outfit. He's got actual body armor on, chainmail and all. Full prosthetic makeup on his face, prosthetic ears, fur coming off the ears, a long ass hair, braids in him and everything. He's got a lapel mic in one of his braids. Ethan went like all out with this. I'm not gonna lie. I respect this move. You know what I mean? And it comes with the comedic element. Like, think about him wearing that outfit and him doing like his little Tourette's tics, you know what I mean? Wearing like that lion shit. He's like going like this with the chainmail. It's all clinking and clacking together and shit. And he looks like this. You know, he's doing all the twitching and he looks like this. That's gold, man. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. That's gold. So this is their first ever D&D situation, right? And they introduce themselves, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to show you guys this one part I thought was funny. So they start introducing like their characters. They go, I'm this person, I'm that person. The fucking Love is like a lolly. He's like, I'm a 400-year-old guy that looks like a 5-year-old boy, you know? Like, so they start doing that. Dan introduces his character. He's like this steampunky looking guy, right? And he starts introducing himself with this crazy British accent like this, yeah? And Ian It's like his family's like British. Like he has like family actually in England and shit. Ian doesn't like this accent. Check this shit out.
A lawyer, a bailiff. A bailiff? I'm no bailiff.
What are you then?
It's a minor noble title.
Okay.
It's the Gallagher brothers.
It's a minor noble title.
That's not much of a noble accent.
I said minor. I said minor, didn't it? Isn't it?
And it is.
Maybe I don't want to commit to that for the next
pretty
5 hours.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, well, I'm an aspiring inventor. Well, I aspire to be one of the greatest inventors in all the land of Andoria. Andoria?
Eloria.
Eloria? Lorry, that's like a truck, isn't it?
And it is.
This is a little offensive for me, actually.
That's a little offensive for me, actually. Look at this fucking asshole. Ian, the biggest British cuck you've ever seen. This guy is such a fucking weirdo, bro. And it's funny because he's like one of the... I don't even know if he was like born in Britain. Like, were you born there? What's so offensive about this? Because you got some family in Britain? Okay. Like, who gives a fuck, bro? This is how they actually sound. Like, when I hear those, because, you know, British people, they're just like Americans. You know how in America, people in the South, they start sounding like real Theo Vaughn, right? They don't sound like me or you. You know? People in New York, they're like, hey, man, I'm walking here. It's the same shit in Britain. You got like these Brits that talk like this, yeah? And then you got these Lordy Bogus like that Dan's doing, these fucking weirdos, right? This is how they sound to us. They sound fucking crazy, yeah? You know? So Dan starts playing into that. Ian's been to fucking England like 5 times. He's taken like crazy offense to it. Okay, like what's the big deal? He's doing a goddamn British accent. Did you just get off the plane? What happened?
Actually,
I was the apprentice of a world-renowned inventor named Bubblesworth Cogswheel.
Tiger.
I love how Dan just blows past it. He goes, I actually take like great offense to this, man. Like this isn't cool. Dan just keeps going like, yeah, it's not cool, man, but I was a great inventor and fuck you with some beans and crimpers, yeah.
It's pretty fun.
5 hours.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, well, I'm an aspiring inventor. Well, I aspire to be one of the greatest inventors in all the land of Andoria. Andoria?
Eloria.
Eloria? Lorry, that's like a truck, isn't it?
And it is.
This is a little offensive for me, actually.
I was the apprentice of a world-renowned inventor named Bubblesworth Cogswheel.
Tiger.
Once again, just blowing past it. I love that. That's good shit, dude. That's a good shit, you know? And it's funny because Ian's sitting there going like, oh man, I take like great offense to this accent, right? Nobody gives a fuck about Ian, right? And then AB decides to do his accent. You've seen his character. He's looking real Twilight in this bitch. You know what I mean? Got the gray hair. Wait until he opens his eyes, bro. The bluest eyes you've ever seen. So check this shit out.
I come from the woods, man. Actually, I'm not doing that.
No, that's Scarface the whole time.
Come on, I'm an animal? You think I'm an elf?
I come from the woods, okay? The out in the woods. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do it. People are gonna get offended. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would people get offended?
Nate, are people gonna get offended?
Scarface aficionados?
See, it's funny because Ian, like, so quick to be like, oh man, this guy's like making fun of. Like, if I started talking like a stereotypical Jew, right? If I was like, how do they sound? Like, oh my God, everything is going so bad today. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like how Jews complain. They go like, this is the worst day of my life, you know? And if I started talking like that, Ian would be, or Ethan, not Ian. See, they both get so offended so easily. Ethan would be like, oh man, this guy's anti-Semitic, bro. He's talking like a Jew, bro. This is fucking crazy. So AB's like trying to be considerate of like Cuban people, like, you know, because Scarface, he's doing the Scarface voice. Scarface was a Cuban. So AB's like sitting there going like, I don't know, man. This shit might be a little offensive, right? Ethan's like, what's so offensive about it, bro? Like, it's not even that crazy.
Animal? You think I'm an elf?
I come from the woods, okay? The out in the woods. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do it. People are gonna get offended. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would people get offended?
Nader, people can get offended.
Scarface aficionados?
Wait.
Or Cubans?
Wait. Oh, Cuban?
Did you hear Ethan and he goes, "Oh, Cubans? Oh, I didn't even think about that." It's like if it's not a Jew, Ethan's like, "Yeah, just say whatever you want, man. Like it's cool. Like I say the N-word like all the time, man. Like what's the big deal that you know?" So like AB's like actually trying to be considerate here.
No, it's Cuban.
No, but he's saying that Pacino is
That's
not
literally
Cuban.
what he sounds like.
I think go with it. Fuck it.
Just go with it.
It's not a
Scarface.
Okay. I come from the woods. I come from the gutter. Okay. I come from a little village. Okay. It's called Deer Leaf. Okay.
Dude, his eyes are so blue. Let me see if I could get a frame where he just like opens his eye. Oh my fucking God. Look at that shit. Those, you know, it's crazy. Like, you ever run into somebody whose eyes are like actually this blue? It's like blinding. Like you want to, like when somebody looks up at you and they're like, and their eyes are all crazy fucking shiny blue and shit. You're like, yo, get the fuck. I'd want to be like spit in both of them and just be like, get the fuck out of my face. Your eyes are too blue. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. But this is funny. You know what I mean? AB's little eyes that he's got going on here. I like it. You know, it's funny. It's funny. So basically there's not really too much going on in this D&D game. The biggest thing I got out of it was I went on like the H3 Snark subreddit and everybody in there was like, these guys are doing like a mockery to Dungeons and Dragons. They're not even playing the game right. I was like, who gives a fuck, man? It's like, I'm cool with the H3 Snark, but I didn't know it was a bunch of D&D facts up in that bitch. Like, come on. You guys, like, I could barely even watch that fucking shit. It was so boring. And they were like ruining the game, like trying to do funny bits in the middle. Okay, if that's like disrespecting the game, I don't want to see an actual like recorded D&D event. Like that shit would be boring as fuck. Okay. So let's end this What's Eating Ethan Klein segment on their big old Christmas finale. They ended up ending this one. Ethan dressed like a girl. They hired like some crackhead woman to come in there and sing like, I think Jingle Bell Rock or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Olivia's in there looking nice and slutty. She's got like thighs all out, you know, looking real nice. So they're doing like this little bit. So I'm going to spark up this J again. We're going to end this What's Eating Ethan Klein segment on a little bit of a Christmas tune. Let's have a happy one.
Guys, what a great year it's been.
Wow.
We put together a special show for you all to say goodnight, to say Merry Christmas, and all the best in the world. So with that being said, with a little Jingle Bell magic, I invite onto the stage the three amigas. Yeah.
So now, if you're paying attention, they're trying to do like a Mean Girls thing. The fact that they're disrespecting Mean Girls was the shit, goddammit. They did that, man. That was when Lindsay Lohan had them rocking tits. You know? I hope she was 18 when that movie came out, because I am not trying to sound like a weirdo, man. I'll tell you, you know what I'm talking about. The Lindsay Lohan awesome tits era, you know? Those tits went south real fast, okay? So they're doing this Jingle Bell Rock shit. They're doing like a how do you say that? Like an ode to the fucking Mean Girls talent show, right?
The three amigos!
Hey, hello. Everybody, happy holidays.
Look at that. They hired an actual crackhead. What the fuck? Ain't that crazy? That girl smoked a half ounce of Ready Rock right before she got on stage. You know what I mean? So they got this crackhead coming on stage. She's about to sing this Jingle Bell Rock better than you ever seen.
Hey, hello. Everybody, happy holidays. Here we go, ladies. You ready? Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bell ring.
Yeah.
Snowing and blowing.
Did you see that shit? Look at that. She goes to throw the maraca in the air and catch it again. She drops it on the floor, dude. This bitch is wildin', bro.
Swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing and bushels of fun.
But the show must go on. The show must go on.
Jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell ring and jingle bell swing. Snowing and blowing and bushels of fun.
Ethan back there twerking, baby.
I'd be a pedophile for 20 million.
Look at that. Look at Ethan twerking his ass off, baby boy. Oh, wait, let's go back. Let's get a little bit of that twerking in there.
Snowing
Yeah.
and blowing.
Break
and
it down,
bushels
Mr.
of
Klein.
fun.
Break that shit down. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, silent and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing and bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun.
Oh!
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell chime. Jingle bell time and jingle bell time. Snowing.
Jingle bell rock.
Look, she's forgetting to fucking sing into the microphone the whole goddamn shit. You gotta love this. Ethan's getting ready to flash the camera. Let's see, is he gonna flash the camera? I have a feeling he's gonna flash the camera.
Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime and jingle bell time.
We just got age
Snowing
restricted.
and blowing and bushels of fun.
You hear Ethan, he goes, we just got age restricted. Watch this. Dude, this crackhead's about to whip out that crack booty. Watch this.
Jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime and jingle bell time.
We just got age
Snowing
restricted.
and blowing.
Oh, I missed it. Look, where is it? Look at this. Dude, this is my Christmas present to you guys. I hope you're watching. There you go. There you go. What is this? What is this? Ethan? Who ordered a double stack of flapjacks? This bitch got some pancakes in her back seat. Ethan, look at Ethan's face. Ethan's like, oh my God, those are the nicest pancakes I ever seen. Like, and Olivia, everybody in that bitch is like, yo, this crackhead just got us demonetized. What the fuck?
Jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime and jingle bell time.
We just got age
Snowing
restricted.
and blowing and bushels of fun.
Yeah,
Look, Ethan's talking. He's like, bro, I don't know what we're going to do about this, bro. We got to get this crackhead out of here. So let's give it up for the week segment. That's the What's Eating Ethan Klein segment. Gotta love it. And of course, we took care of our good old smoke break. So let's hop into the next one. Who do we have on the docket left? Let's get into Dave Portnoy leaving the BFFs podcast. This is going to be such a sad sight to see because ain't no way in hell I'm watching another episode of this show without Dave. You know what I mean? This guy is like the whole thing. You know what I mean? BFFs without Dave is just FFs. I mean, it's fucking fags. You know what I mean? That's it. It's just two fags. It's Brianna Chicken Fried and Josh Richards talking about what are we doing here? Okay? So, as always, I won't hold you too much longer. Let's get into it and listen to Dave say his goodbyes.
BFF's my last episode ever. But at least not as until I'm maybe a recurring guest. But we're not exactly going out like with Christmas tidings and like
With hugs
you know,
and
happy
kisses.
holidays, everybody. We're all like everyone's feeling so great.
Right.
We've kind of just been in. Like,
And Josh Richards is like the happiest little retard. They're all sitting there going, man, it's going to be rough, man. We're not going really out on a good bang. You know, we got some like rough stuff we got to talk about this episode. Brianna Chicken Fried does a little fake smile. She goes like, yeah, it's going to be rough. And then Josh Richards gets on screen and he's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, it's actually a pretty awesome day right now. He reminds me of like that redheaded kid from We're the Millers. You know that meme where everybody goes like, what, you're only getting 10,000? And the girl goes, 10,000? I'm only getting 5,000. And the redhead turns around and he goes, wait, you guys are getting paid? Like, you know that meme? That's what he reminds me of, that kid. He's just like so obliviously happy.
like turmoil, I guess, for the last 2 weeks. And I just posted a video. It's like I did a walk and talk, and I tried to summarize the Bree Barstool Grace situation as fairly as I thought I could. I asked Bree, I'm like, what'd you think? She was, she's like, it was all right. It's like there's no win on this story. I don't even know whether we should really.
There's
what's
no
the
win
point of
on
talking
it.
about
Yeah, it's like it's just us
without
talking
Grace
about
here.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, this whole thing's supposed to be about Dave leaving, right? They're supposed to be like celebrating Dave's time on the show. They can't do that because Bree's best friend Grace O'Malley just got done like freaking out and quitting Barstool. So to give you a little bit of context, Bree has another show called Plan Bree, right? And I think she started it like way before her friend Grace even started working at Barstool, right? But Bree and Grace had been best friends for X amount of years, I guess before even Bree's time at Barstool. So they'd known each other almost all their lives. Bree gets hired at Barstool. She starts playing Bree. Then eventually she works Grace into Barstool. They hire Grace. And then Grace becomes the co-host of Plan Bree. Now, during their time as co-hosts of the show, Brianna Chicken Fry has ended up getting like a lot of hate online. Some of it having to do with like her relationships, mainly the one with Zach Bryan. A lot of it having to do with just other bullshit that she's doing online. And a lot of times when these people start going on these hate tirades of Brianna Chicken Fry, she never ends up getting any backup from Grace, despite Grace being her best friend. And that kind of started a little bit of a rift in their relationship. Eventually, it got to the point to where Bree kind of was like, I don't even know if we should do Plan Bree together anymore. You know, like, we'll just separate. We're kind of really not even friends anymore because Grace is going out and doing her own comedy thing. They're kind of just growing apart. And I'm not going to lie, if I had a best friend that really wasn't showing support like that and my darkest times of getting made fun of on the internet, you know, I might be a little upset about that too. So they end up ending the show, right? Then Grace ends up like getting in this whole fight because like Bree had like mentioned to somebody that they're gonna end the show soon, and Grace wanted it to be like them doing it together on a video that they post together on a YouTube channel, and Bree just passingly mentioned it to somebody like, oh yeah, no, it's cool, but we're gonna end up ending the show soon, something like that. Grace ends up blowing the whole thing out of proportion and quits Barstool. That's pretty much the nutshellest version that I could possibly give you. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what they're talking about. This is supposed to be Dave and the celebration of him leaving the show. Now it's kind of turning into like a Bree Grace O'Malley type thing. So that's what we're talking about here.
Like to Dave's point, it just, because you were the only one there that was able to talk about it, it came across like, you know, Grace wasn't able to talk about it, but we just hadn't. We asked Grace to come on. What did she say, Dave?
She didn't want to. Like her, I mean, when I talked to Grace about this, it has really been like, I don't like talking about serious stuff. Like, I want to just kind of do my comedy and I don't want to be in the middle of it, which I do believe to a degree. But then that's where I go back. And as we just recycle, it's like, yeah, but in my head, we're here because you talk like you threw, it was all the Plan Bree thing ending that caused this mess. And I don't want to point finger this, but it's like, and we have to, like, where I guess, Grace, you don't have a podcast. We're going to sit down. Like, we probably wouldn't have talked about it. BFFs doesn't exist. Like, but it does. And we had to. And I wish she came on. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't until like Ambush her. I said, it's like, you have Final Cut. Bree doesn't.
See, you have Final Cut. So basically now they're just talking about how they pretty much offered Grace every avenue that they could to be like, you can come on the show, say your piece. We won't do an ambush type thing. Bree doesn't even have to be on it. You could just talk to like me and Josh if you want. We'll give you Final Cut on the episode so you'll know that we're not like posting anything out of context for you. Like, he's pretty much laid out a red carpet for this Grace O'Malley chick. She ended up going and like posting a like 4-page story with like all this shit, talking about how she felt betrayed and this and that, and how Dave was like not taking her side and blah, blah, blah. And this started a whole little thing because you guys saw how involved Dave was with Bree's breakup with Zach Bryan, right? He's sitting there telling her, don't take the $12 million for the NDA. Fucking fuck Zach Bryan. I'm going to write like 10 diss tracks about him. And we all heard that motherfucker rap, you know. So that was a crazy situation. Just anytime you hear Dave Portnoy rap or sing, these are golden moments. So people online kind of speculated as to like why Dave's so involved with Bree's like personal life like this, you know? And then people got to like doing some digging in Dave's past. And they ended up finding out that Dave's ex-wife looks strikingly like Brianna Chicken Fry. So people are kind of saying like, oh, well, maybe Dave is so involved in all of this shit because he's like secretly in love with Bree. And they end up talking about this. This is kind of funny.
Such a rabbit hole in a certain part of like TikTok because so many people have no idea what's going on. Like,
right.
My Boys Lie collab still sold out. Like, it's like it's just this like rhetoric of the same people spiraling on the internet.
And then you get caught in that
in the algorithm.
And you all see it. And I go online and I see my ex-wife's picture. I was so mad about that. Some fucking absolute.
I saw this morning. The comparison of Bree to your ex-wife.
My
and
ex-wife has
private woman. I've never seen a picture of her. Yeah.
She hasn't been in the public eye for over a decade. And you put her, this fucking piece of shit. Do we have this, girls? I have a dirt guy. When I'm in it, it's like, hey, go get me dirt. I'm like, go get me dirt on this fucking piece of shit who is bringing back Renee, who has absolute like the craziest fucking theory I've ever seen.
I love Dave, dude.
This dummy.
This guy is so fucking pissed off about this. He goes, I got a goddamn dirt guy. You know, every time somebody does some shit like this to me online, I go and I call my dirt guy, you know, and he goes, hey, what do you need, Dave? And I tell him, I need some dirt, you know, I need some dirt on this piece of shit over here. She's got TikToks about me and my ex-wife. I need you to pull up some dirt. Like, I love that. That's just classic shit. So now they end up showing the ex-wife, right? And while they're showing like the ex-wife and the TikTok from the girl that made this whole story up, Dave starts basically yelling at the computer screen as if this girl can like answer him back. He's yelling, he's like, you piece of shit. Like, watch this. This is so fucking funny. And this is why I'm going to miss Dave. This is why he should not leave the show. He needs to be every other week at least. I mean, come on.
Yeah, an absolute clown show piece of shit.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Let me see the other one. Oh, yeah.
You piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
How do they even find Renee? I guess probably easy, but
now hold on.
See, this is fucked up. I didn't even realize this until right now. Dave is having his producer blur the face of the ex-wife. How the fuck are we supposed to see what she looks like if you're blurring the face? Now I gotta open up Google and type it in. Dave Portnoy's ex-wife. Let's see some images. Does she look like Brianna Chicken Fry? The answer, yes. Look at this photo right here. She looks almost exactly like Brianna Chicken Fry. It's like fucking from the tits to the fucking face to the teeth to the hair. Like everything, dude. Her body type is like everything looks like Brianna Chicken Fry. Let's go to like a different picture. Let's see. I mean, even here, she kind of looks like Brianna Chicken Fry. Like, I mean, I'm kind of sold, you know? But that's not why we're here. Let's listen to Dave have this little freak out. This shit is gold.
Piece of shit.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Let me see the other one. Oh, yeah.
You piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
How do they even find Renee? I guess probably easy, but
I love that. He's, you piece of shit. He's got his mug and he's like, you piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Like the girl's gonna get like offended, dude. He's saying that like as if her TikTok is gonna like somehow come to life and she's gonna be like, why would you say that to me? That's like that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like I fucking love that. This is that boomer shit. It's that boomer shit. Now watch this. Dave's sitting there going, she's a piece of shit. She's a piece of shit. And then Josh comes in with some goddamn quick.
Yeah.
Let me see the other one. Oh, yeah.
You piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
How do they even
Now-
find Renee?
now-
I guess probably easy, but
Now hold on for a second though. Bree does kind of look like her a little bit.
Look, Josh said that shit, and Dave went to react so fucking fast. He's like whiplashed in the frame, dude. This frame looks like that fucking SpongeBob meme of Mr. Krabs, dude. I gotta show you guys that one too, dude. Mr. Krabs meme, dude. Look at this. You guys know this picture of Mr. Krabs that people use when like people are like shook the fuck up, dude? This is what Dave looks like with
this dummy.
Dude, this is what this frame looks like right here. Dave, look, he's so fucking quick to react on that. Let's listen to Josh deliver that line one more time. Watch Dave's reaction to this.
Now hold on for a second though. Bree does kind of look like her a little bit.
Yeah, in those
right?
pictures, they do kind of look alike.
They do look a little
they
similar.
picked pictures where we would look alike, I would assume.
But what's that have to do with anything?
Oh, I'm just pointing it out there that maybe they
Dave's like
do
my
kind
dad.
of look alike. They do
I
kind of
mean,
look like.
I dated
I'm
Savannah
not.
was Colombian. Celtics girl.
The Kelowna was Colombian. The Celtics girl was like some motherfucking in. You know? These girls are like, they all are different. But they all just happen to look a lot like Brie. You know what I mean? It's so fucking funny. Now, remember I was telling you how, Grace O'Malley and Brie, they're having this little best friend falling out and stuff like that? So, this I thought was kind of funny. They ended up, the BFF's, like, social media account ended up liking a post that was, like, talking shit about
Like,
Grace O'Malley. That shit was so fucking hilarious. Listen to this.
I asked when we came in here, I was like, who liked it?
Everyone
like,
said it wasn't them.
Was
It's my
it them?
fault. It's my team.
The BFF account, I don't even know what comment, but it was a negative Grace comment, and BFF, the account, liked the post.
You idiots.
That's what
What the?
I like
I didn't
Grace.
even know because I'm like off
thinking?
TikTok, so I saw. I'm like, what the fuck?
I already talked to Grace. I like Grace.
Are you guys
kinda
trying to
put
Austin
you
told
down.
me, he's like, what do you want to say about liking the comments? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I was just saying, I didn't know if you wanted to address it in the video that you were
I didn't
doing.
even know what you were fucking talking about.
Well, I know I
what
sent you the
happened.
video.
See, Dave's like, bro, I don't manage none of this shit. He's like, I don't even know the passwords to the social media accounts. He's like, what makes you think I know anything about the comments? I don't even know the goddamn passwords. You know, you guys are doing whatever the fuck you want on there. That's so fucking funny. This guy walks into a shit show. Grace O'Malley's freaking the fuck out online. Everybody's sitting there going, everybody on BFFs hates Grace O'Malley. She's crying her ass off in a corner. Meanwhile, Dave has no idea what the fuck is going on. Dave's like sitting on a dock on a bay in fucking, what's that fucking place? Nantucket. There you go. This guy is over in Nantucket fucking with his finger in his ass and the world's burning behind him. So check this out. Listen to Dave's last words on this. He will miss nothing. Dave will miss nothing. And of course, we get this right before we start this goddamn frame. We get Dave and Josh Richards looking like a couple goddamn string beans. You gotta love it.
These shirts off, go skins.
Rip our shirts off
Take
and
a fucking
let's take a
ridiculous photo.
That's right.
All right, let's I guess roll. Is this like the outro? What am I gonna miss the most about BFFs?
Probably me.
Right now, I honestly feel like I'm gonna miss nothing. Like it's been a miserable couple weeks, and I like just want not to have to be stressing over this shit.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Too bad it couldn't have just ended after the Zach Bryan high, eh?
That
Could've
we
just
were
taken
like
us
going
and soared us into the
Happy.
sunset.
Everyone
Would've
in
been
every avenue was
beautiful-
happy.
Oh,
How could she say? Did you see that? Bree's like, everyone was happy with the Zach Bryan. Like, Bree's getting her fucking heart ripped out online. Lost out on $12 million. Dave's writing diss tracks. Everyone's sitting there going, whoa, why is Dave so involved in this, man? It seems like he's kind of using the situation for views. Like, all these conspiracies around it and shit. Everyone was happy in that situation. They're like, man, this was like a views gold mine, this Zach Bryan situation, man. We should have just ended the show right there. You know, like, that's kind of crazy if you ask me, but let's give it up for BFF's podcast. And, of course, saying goodbye to Mr. David Portnoy. So what are we at right now? We're at 1 hour and 36. I think we got some time left in us, you know. Let's have a couple more smokes, man. This is Christmas time. Dude, if you're not getting stoned on Christmas, what the fuck are you even doing with your life? You know what I mean? Like, so we're taking a couple smoke breaks this episode. We need to get high as fuck. So let's listen to a couple more tunes, have a couple more puffs, and then we'll get right back into it with our segment where Logan Paul ends up coming in contact with this midget that he purchased back in the day and had set free. Okay. We don't need to get too crazy. We've been smoking a lot this episode, man. I'm pulling out the bong. I'm hitting the joint. I'm fucking. It's Merry Christmas, y'all. You know. So let's talk about this Logan Paul situation with the Midge. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. There was this dude named like Evan Eckenrau or some shit like that. But everybody knew this guy as Dwarf Mamba online. He started out on Vine. And Logan Paul ends up finding this dude on Vine. It's like, yo, bro, you know how awesome it would be if we ended up buying like a midget, man? He's looking at his producers. He goes, yo, I'm thinking about doing all these crazy new videos. It'd be awesome if we ended up buying like a midget as a pet. And then we could do whatever we want with the midget. Don't you think that'd be cool, bro? So they end up he comes across this Dwarf Mamba guy, instant messages him. He's like, yo, man, would you like to come to LA? I'll give you all expenses paid. You come and live with me. The whole thing will be fine. Guy says yes. I mean, if you're an up-and-coming creator, you're a young guy, you see a name like Logan Paul. At the time, Logan was like the biggest thing on YouTube. This was like before Mr. Beast had it popping. You know what I mean? So they see a person like Logan Paul in their DMs asking him to come to California to live with them. They're going to be like, yeah, dude, I'm a fucking midget. Like, of course I'm going to do that. What do I got going on over here in Nebraska? You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's going to take it. He ends up moving to California, starts appearing in Logan's vlogs and shit. Logan's throwing this guy around like a fucking sack of beans or some shit. Like, every time he sees the guy, Logan, like, picks him up by one leg, holds him upside down. The thing's like squirming around and shit, like, oh my God, help me. You know, Logan just fucking chucks him across the room. He's like, isn't that great, guys? It's just like great for my vlogs. Smashes a plate on his head. It's like, this was like the guy's whole career. People are making vines with him. He's like throwing toothpicks and shit, like at people's beards, like it's like a javelin Olympic event or some shit. You know, that's like the whole thing. Eventually it got played out. And Logan had to, you know, like many of the other pets in his life, he had to set this Midge free, you know? So the guy ends up about 5 years ago just disappearing, falling off completely. And then Logan ends up having him back for another episode of Impaulsive. And that's where we are right now. Check this out.
You know who that is? Bro, who is sitting across from us right now?
Oh,
It's EX.
The legend.
Legend.
In the flesh. Ladies and gentlemen.
I get an intro.
Evan Eckenrode, a.k.a. Dwarf Mamba, is back.
D-Moms.
Look at that.
Brother.
Look at that little alien, bro. Well, look, wait until he goes to reach his arms up. He's like...
Dwarf Mamba is back.
D-Moms.
What the fuck?
Look at this motherfucker, bro. And it's been 5 years. He's sweating. This guy's nervous to be on camera, dude. And he's wearing such a goddamn tight shirt, he can barely fucking put his arms up. You thought that I was making a joke just because his arms were short. Nah. See, you gotta be more open-minded than that when it comes to comedy, okay, my friend? I'm not making fun of this guy because of his short arms. Although, it'd be a pleasure to. I'm more making fun of the fact that his goddamn shirt is so tight on the top half that he can barely even put his arms over his head. Like, if this jacket that I'm wearing was, like, really, really tight, I would be, like, limited in, like, the movement of the arm, right? You know what I mean? Because there wouldn't be enough free space for me to lift my arm all the way up. That's why this guy's having such a hard time with this. This guy is wearing, like, a shirt that's, like, a couple sizes too small, and that's saying a lot for a guy like him.
Yes.
Wow, brother.
Go.
Oh my gosh, one of my best friends, one of my longest friends.
Ditto.
What do you mean by long?
I wish I would have said that differently.
Look, they make it like, what do you mean by longest friend? So they're already clowning on this guy, right? And he's already sucking dick, making these goddamn faces. He's like, hey, you guys are so goddamn funny. Would you let me back in the crew, please? Would you let me back in the crew so I can... I'm more... Like, shit's been real, real bad since you set me free, Logan. Like, Logan legitimately, like, you remember the movie Harry Potter? And there was that guy, Dobby. And he was like, I'm Dobby. He had those weird ears. He's skinny as fuck. That guy used to beat the shit out of him because he was like a slave, right? And then one day, Harry Potter, he takes a sock. He puts it in the book, right? The guy gives the book to Dobby, and Dobby goes, oh my God, you gave me a piece of clothing. That means that I'm free now. So the guy, like, Harry Potter, like, tricked this dude into, like, setting Dobby free, right? And that's kind of what Logan did. Logan gave this little midget a sock, and he was like, you're free, bro. You could do whatever you want. He releases him in the hills of Los Angeles, where there's, like, coyotes and eagles and shit all around waiting to fuck this little dude up. And he goes, have fun, bro. I'll see you never. And then 5 years later, the guy shows up looking like this, laughing his ass off, waiting to get back into the goddamn crew. That's rich. That's rich. So now, let's hear a little bit of a story from Mr. Mamba.
Hey, buddy.
What up?
How the fuck are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Definitely... I'll be vulnerable. I'll be real right now. I'm at a reset. At a point in my life right now.
A what?
A reset. That makes sense.
For sure.
Not a midlife crisis. A reset.
Yep.
Trying to figure things out. As you guys remember from my last episode, I go, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life, and I walk out.
Ooh, now remember, he said that because we're about to dive into that episode. Let's take a pause from this one. And take a trip down memory lane. So now, you hear a line like that, you go, oh man, that's a little bit of a juicy timeline. He goes, and you know what's crazy is you notice how, like, his voice is very midgety too, right? He's like talking into the mic. He's like, yeah, man, I'll admit to you guys, I'm having a little bit of a rough time right now. I'm in a little bit of crossroads, yeah? And you remember the last time I was on the podcast, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. And I walked off. You remember that? Like, and this is like kind of fucking crazy just hearing him talk like this. But that was 5 years ago. That was like 5 fucking years ago. This guy had a lot of time. He had a lot of time to get that shit together. You know what I mean? And you couldn't get it together in that time? Like, I think that's kind of crazy. So let's go back 5 years in the past and let's take a look at the Midge's situation, you know? So this is going to be the first time that he's ever on the Impaulsive podcast, right? At this point, this is like episode 88 of Impaulsive. So he's been on the air. It's 52 weeks in a year, right? So episode 52, that's a year. This show's been on for a little over a year and a half at this point. This Midget Mamba guy, or whatever the fuck his name is supposed to be Logan's best friend. So you're his best friend. You're living in the house. The show's been going on for a year and a half. This is your first time on it? Kind of crazy, but this is his intro. This is 5 years ago.
Sorry, this got so heated right away. Guys, today is a very special episode of Impaulsive. Our guest today is one of my absolute best friends. We literally made a series called Best Friends. He's my roommate, and he is a superstar. It's my BFF, Evan Epsiode, a.k.a. Dwarf Mamba. Woo!
Give it up. Dwarf Mamba coming in there. Of course, he jumps right onto the top of the goddamn desk. And you ever notice these little guys, they always have the fattest asses. You know what I mean? I could get lost in that ass. You know, that's a lot of ass. And he's sitting there blowing fucking kisses right in Big Mike's face. Big Mike staring right at that goddamn rump. That rump roast. Okay.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
No one's entered like that. Just straight across the table.
And no one will jump up like that either.
You got some hops. You do got hops.
Hell yeah.
Look at how great this is. This is so fucking funny. So they got these these table mic stands, right? You'll see these on podcasts from time to time. Ethan Klein used to use one actually, where it's like the microphone is probably about the same height as mine is right here, right? But instead of it being on an arm, it's just on a straight down rod, right? And the bass just sits at the table. A lot of times people will have it like right in front of their face, then they'll have their laptops behind it. So most of the time you can see what you're doing on your laptop with the mic right there. It's not that big of an impedance on your vision to the device, okay? If they end up having this guy on, they got to take his table stand and turn it sideways. That's how small this dude is. They have his desk on maximum height. Or his stool, if you will. I'm sorry. They have his stool on maximum height. And they still got to turn the goddamn desk mic stand sideways. This is gold.
I want to give this episode due diligence, bro, and really dive in, because I think this could be one of the most important and special episodes that we do. I think having you on is well overdue. But did you have something to say about the
no doubt
Dobrik situation?
Okay, we don't give a fuck about no goddamn Dobrik situation. I want to hear the good stuff. This guy, so Logan finally has this dude on his podcast after a year and a half, right? He's been living with Logan probably longer than that at this point. A year and a half has been going on. He hasn't had this Midge on the podcast once, right? I feel like there's a reason for that. I feel like this guy, after watching some episodes of this bullshit, and after watching this and seeing the way this dude acted and shit, I feel like the reason why he hadn't had him on the show for so long is because this guy's an uptight asshole. You know, sometimes these midges, they get like real uptight about stuff like the word midge. You know, they don't want you to call them stuff like that. They want to be called proper names, like the word dwarf. That's insane to me. Like, to want to be called a dwarf over a midget, like, midget doesn't even sound that crazy. But dwarf, like, actually, like, we just got done watching Ethan Klein and the gang play Dungeons and Dragons. It wouldn't surprise me if one of those characters was a dwarf, you know? That's what that sounds like. It sounds like a mythical creature. It sounds like elf-ish, you know what I mean? Like a fairy or something. Like, if you're a dwarf, that sounds insane. Just take the midget. Just take the midge, you know what I mean? But sometimes these midges, they get fucking insane. You end up calling them a midget, they lose their goddamn minds. And he's a prime example of one of those kinds of midgets, right? You know, you cannot get uptight about these kinds of things. You know, I'm Puerto Rican. You think I'm going to get mad if people call me a spick? No, as a matter of fact, this is how crazy it is. I just said the word spick twice now, right? This video won't even get demonetized for that. That's some real shit, ain't it? Right? Ethan's talking about anti-Semitism. Imagine if I said the word kike. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be some shit? I bet I'm going to get demonetized for that one. But if I bleep it, that spick's going to fly, baby. I'm telling you. So this guy, he's getting real uptight over this goddamn Midge shit. and he's about to prove it to us. He's about to basically go into like this whole thing about how like the word midge is like you can't say that, and then they go into like this whole thing about like midges like hardships and stuff like that, which I'm sure are real. You know what I mean? Being half the height of a regular person, I'm sure, or whatever you want to call them, an average height person, is I'm sure it's a struggle. But like you gotta either learn to like live with the cards that you're dealt with and stop bitching, or you just gotta take this shit somewhere else. You can't be doing this on the Impaulsive podcast, okay?
Is I think a problem you experience almost every day of your life. Huge. But like, here's an example of one that you might not have known. The M word for dwarves is like the N word for black people. Is that correct? Like, can you say it? I don't want to say it.
Look at this fucking faggot's face, bro. He's such a loser, dude. Logan's sitting there, he goes, like, Logan's trying to play the game with him. Like, Logan's trying to be cool. He goes, yo, bro, like, when people call you Midge, bro, right? They call you that M word, bro, right? That's like the same as when people say the N word, right? With the hard R, bro, right? That's the same thing. I'm on your side right now. And this guy's looking at him like Logan just got done fucking his girlfriend. He's like, what did you fucking say to me, man? And this is that kind of shit. This is what I'm saying. It's like when people are in these kinds of situations, sometimes every now and then you get a bad actor like this guy who wants to take advantage of it. He wants to blow everything out of proportion, right? Because he was dealt a bad hand, and we get it. People sympathize with you. It's not like that crazy to sympathize with the small person. But when they act like an asshole like this, Logan's basically just got done sympathizing with them. He's looking at Logan like, are you fucking retarded? You blonde-haired, tall fucking idiot? What are you, stupid?
I've stopped saying it.
Wait.
The M word.
So the word he's referring to is midget, which is weird that actually back in the 1960s, us dwarfs would prefer that to be called midgets. And then it switched, I want to say the 80s to where now it's little people with dwarfs. So yes.
See, right there, argument debunked. So it used to be the cool term, and now it ain't the cool term. So the people wanted it. You want to know what's ironic about this? They're sitting there going, yo, man, we compare it to like the N-word, right? Yeah, black people call each other that with a soft A. You know, they're not calling each other that with hard R's, right? And I don't think there was ever a time, in American history at least, where black people like preferred it. And then like in the 70s, they go, oh, as a matter of fact, we don't want the hard R no more. You know, we'll take the other one. Like, they never did that. It's always been a derogatory term. They never flip-flopped on their shit. So when these midgets sit there and go, oh, man, you can't call us midgets anymore. What the fuck? You guys liked it back in the 60s. Now, all of a sudden, we got to change our ways. You know what I mean? Like, certain things, they don't just change back and forth like that. It doesn't just become politically correct one day and it's not politically correct the next. You know, this isn't like the Me Too movement. Everybody knew sexual assault was bad. You just, for some reason, could get away with it in Hollywood a lot easier back in the day. Now people are, like, wizened up to that. They're like, it's still bad, and now you can't get away with it. You know what I mean? But it was never politically correct. Not like this guy is saying here, where he goes, yeah, us midgets back in the 60s, we politically correct. That was, like, the politically correct statement was midgets. Like, we all loved it. We were, like, having parties and shit. It was, like, midget parties. That was, like, what we called them. And then all of a sudden, one day, just like daylight savings time, we flipped the switch and then everything was different. That's not how that works, motherfucker. Like, you asking for some crazy shit.
The term midget is a derogatory word against dwarves, which the N-word is also a derogatory word against black people. So it, to an extent, yes, it's the same.
I feel concept. You. There's a negative connotation in both words, is what I'm saying. But most people don't know that you shouldn't say the N-word.
People come up to me like, what should I call you? First off, call me by my fucking name. My name's Evan. That's
a good start.
Call me by...
That's a fair question, though. Like, if I ran into someone in person that looked as crazy as this, like, this guy looks like a fucking alien. You know what I mean? I would think the same thing. I would be looking down at him like, bleep, blorp, bleep. I'd be like, do you even speak like the same fucking language? Are you even from this planet? What do I call you? You know, that's a very fair question for a guy that looks like this. And I'm not talking about all midges. I'm talking about him. Okay? Him and, what's the other guy? Brad Williams. Yeah. Those two. I'm talking about those two midgets. The rest of them are cool. Okay? But these two, fuck them. Okay?
My fucking name. But they'd be like midget? Like, is that offending? I'll be like, yes, like that's not the correct terminology. It would be like little person or dwarf. And they'd be like, oh, like I didn't know that. And like that's the people who I envy the most because they're so open.
Yeah.
And they want to learn.
Yeah.
Not the people who just say that word and just.
Well, because
Evan.
See, right there, I can tell you, he's lying. That ain't the way he reacts when people go up to him, they go, what do I call you, little guy? And they start patting his head. They go, do I call you a midget? Is that what I call you? Do I call you a midge? You prefer me to call you that? He starts freaking the fuck out. He's like biting at their ankles, like grabbing around their fucking thighs, like trying to take them down and shit, nibbling at their fucking kneecaps and stuff. He starts bugging out, losing his goddamn mind, I bet. He's sitting here trying to play it up all nice for the goddamn podcast. We're not buying it, my friend. There ain't no way you're acting that nice when people come up to you and say, what should I call you?
And they're just like, oh, you're short. Who cares? Like, just a word. It's like say the same thing to a black person.
Well, most people don't know. That's what I'm saying. And we ran into this problem at Coachella.
Now this is great. You heard how much like sadness was in his voice. Like once he really started talking about the topic and really got into it, you hear him when he said like, he was like, it's just that word, you know what I mean? It's like that word when people say that. It's like, and you start hearing his voice start shaking and you can tell it's getting to him. Even talking about this is getting to him. And I feel for him if he wasn't such an asshole. But this is where things are going to start taking a turn. You think like, oh man, Logan's his best friend, bro. Logan's about to start talking about how much he sympathizes with this guy, bro. Wrong. Watch this.
Most people don't know. That's what I'm saying. And we ran into this problem at Coachella. Do you remember this? This was fucking weird.
The most mind blowing.
You
How
can
about
do
some
it.
water?
You can probably do
How about
it.
some water? Water's great.
You can
It
drink the
keeps
water.
the whole mouth.
But I do.
See, already this guy's about to cry just off of talking about how the Midge word is the same as the N word, bro. It's not the same. If it was the same as the N word, I'd say the N word on YouTube. Okay, it's not.
The most mind-blowing moment of our entire lives.
So whenever anyone ever fucks with Evan, I'm go mode, yo. Like I'm like big bro mode, and I'm ready to fuck some people up. And word got around in our group that someone called Evan a midge, right? That's what they called him, a midge.
I've been calling him a midge this whole time. Where are you now, Logan? How fucking crazy. Dude, how crazy would it be if I'm calling this guy a midge, right? This whole goddamn episode, Logan fucking blasts through the fucking wall like the Kool-Aid Man, right? And he fucking starts beating the shit out of me in this goddamn Santa Claus costume. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? Like, what's Logan's, like, finishing move in the WWE? Whatever it is, he does that to me. He, like, fucking choke slams me, gives me, like, a stone cold stunner and shit. He's like, you calling my friend a midge, bro? Like, it's not fucking cool. He comes in looking like this, all fucking unhinged and shit, blast through my goddamn wall. I'm like, who's paying for this? He starts beating the shit out of me, all because I called fucking a Dwarf Mamba a midge. Imagine that.
Without the T?
Just a midge.
Yeah, just a midge.
And I was like, so, I put on a jest.
Yeah, me and you were just like, oh, whatever. And the dude, like, was yelling it from the line.
Oh, yeah.
He was yelling it
He was
from the
aggressive
line.
with it.
And, like, it was like, I was like, is he looking at me? Like, is he pointing at me?
Yeah.
And he did it the third time. And he definitely looked at me and he even pointed.
Yeah.
And you said, yep, he's looking at you. Let's go fuck this kid up.
So we went to go handle it, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, do you have any idea what you're saying or that word could hurt someone's feelings? And then he's like, what do you mean, man? I didn't mean, what do you mean it hurts his feelings? And then from behind him, out comes a dwarf. And
Bro, so now this shit is gonna be kind of embarrassing for Mr. Mamba, okay? For Mr. Midge Mamba, okay? It's gonna be kind of embarrassing. So they're talking about they were at Coachella or some shit. Some random dude in the crowd sees Mr. Midget Mamba and he goes, hey, yo, what's up, bro? That's that Midge over there, bro. He says, yo, that's the Midge. And he's Mr. Mamba tries to ignore it. He goes, man, I'm fucking rich, man. I'm here with Logan Paul at Coachella, bro. We're just gonna ignore this. So they keep trying to walk. The guy keeps saying Midge. So Logan gets in big brother mode. He goes up to the guy. He's like, yo, bro, you know what the type of shit you're saying right now might hurt my little person friend's feelings? And the guy's like, whoa, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. And just like a movie, another Midge comes from behind the motherfucker, like comes from behind his legs, right below the kneecap, comes out like a movie. It comes out, peeks from behind, he goes, whoa, I'm a midget over here. I'm hanging out with this guy, man. It's cool, bro. Like, we're all cool. You know, like, that's what, this is what's about to happen right here. Dude, Dwarf Mamba, he don't know how to take this. And then Logan is like, that kind of goes against, like, everything you've been telling me, bro. Like, that shit's crazy, bro.
Hang that work hurt someone's feelings. And then he's like, what do you mean, man? I didn't mean, what do you mean it hurts his feelings? And then from behind him, out comes a dwarf. And they had a dwarf in their group. He's like, what's up? It's me.
Really?
Midge.
Logan, literally, Logan and I, this is the moment. This is our moment. This is our exact faces. Let's do it together. Like we just saw it, we go, no.
Notice how the camera ain't cutting back? It's because Logan ain't fucking with it, bro. Logan's like, I'm not about to sit here and act that shit out with you, bro. That's not what this episode is, bitch.
That's not what we did. Anyways, we literally looked at each other like,
I couldn't believe it.
We didn't know what to do. We were like, what the fuck?
Because in my mind, Evan has bred me for the past 3 to 4 years being like, us dwarves, we don't like to be called the word. And I was like, okay, no problem, easy. And so this dude has a friend who apparently doesn't mind it. So it must not be a universal dwarf thing, which I think complicates everything times 10.
It is.
Then what was this dude doing?
He grew up in an environment where literally he must have not seen a single dwarf in his life. Like, he must not have seen a single little person. So he just grew up around these average height people, which I use the term average height. It's not taller person, normal person. It's average height. And he just doesn't, like, people probably called him midget his whole life. And he's just probably like, yeah, I'm a midget.
See, now here goes this little fucking Midge. This is why I don't like him. Because he's sitting there now. He's trying to gaslight the audience, right? By going like, oh, well, this little midget, the reason why he's like cool with people saying stuff like that is because he grew up in an environment where there were no midgets. He was like the only midget, right? Yeah, it's like called the fucking world, dude. Like the regular ass world. It's like there's not a lot of you out there. You're like a rarity. You know, I'm not even kidding. I maybe ran into like 2 midgets in person in my entire fucking life. I didn't even talk to either of them. I was scared. But that's beside the point. And I'm like not the most traveled guy, but I'm like somewhat well traveled. Like I've been to a bunch of different states in the country, you know what I mean? And I've like ran into like maybe 2 of them, you know what I mean? I'm just saying you don't see them all the time. So basically this guy grew up in like a regular ass environment, right? And they probably weren't sitting there calling him a midget in like a derogatory way. He's probably used to people just being like, my son is a midget, and like he goes, my best friend is a midget. You know Larry over there? Yeah, he's a which one's Larry? Oh, he's the midget over there. That's Larry. That's how they're probably using the word, just to literally describe this guy. But then you have an asshole like him who probably grew up in like a midget farm in like some scientific building where they're like cloning these things, right? And he goes, well, I've only been around midgets my entire life, and like we don't like to be called that because we feel like we have the same rights as everybody else. You don't, okay?
I was like, hey, when they call you that, doesn't that offend you? And he's like, nah, man, it's whatever. Like he was drunk out of his mind. But like
even Logan's sitting there making fun of the way the midgets sound. He goes, nah, man, it's whatever. And they're sitting there. This is what's so funny about this. They're all sitting there talking about like wanting to have sympathy with this guy, and they're all saying the word in front of him. They're all saying Midge and midget and fucking like little half person and whatever derogatory name they could think. If this was like a black guy talking about his struggles as a black person in America, right? They wouldn't all be like, and then he said, and they just start spurting out the N-word in front of him. They go, what? I'm just describing the situation, man. Like they wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So the fact that they're sitting there trying to like sympathize with him and then basically calling him the N-word is kind of fucking crazy.
He didn't care, which was super interesting to me because kind of went against everything I've ever heard from you.
God damn, I had to turn the goddamn soundboard off, dude. I went to hit the thing one fucking time, and then all of a sudden it's like going off like crazy. So now listen to what Logan says. He goes, yeah, that midget was like cool with us like saying the word midget, but like that kind of went against like everything that like you've ever told me. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of weird, bro. You know, like you don't find that to be like even a little bit strange, you know?
Midget his whole life, and he's just probably like, yeah, I'm a midget.
I was like, hey, when they call you that, doesn't that offend you? And he's like, nah, man, it's whatever. Like he was drunk out of his mind, but like he didn't care, which was super interesting to me because kind of went against everything I've ever heard from you.
Let's see if the soundbite board works this time. Ah, there we go. We're back in business. So isn't that fucking crazy? This guy goes to make like this whole long big thing out of how like midgets don't like to be called midgets, how you need to call them mythical dwarf creatures and shit. And then Logan's like, the first midget that I met that wasn't you was like, no man, it's cool. Like we all call each other midgets. Like it's whatever, bro. Like, so I thought that was just so fucking crazy. That like this paints a good picture of like what this guy is like, right? And then throughout this podcast, they start kind of questioning him on shit. They go, man, like it's kind of crazy. You live here rent free. We don't even spend a lot of time with you. All you do is play like video games all day, right? And like you're talking about all these struggles you're having as a midget, but like you're not really doing anything to like further your career as a content creator. You're barely making videos. Every time I see you, you're locked in your room playing Call of Duty and shit for like 14 hours a day. What's going on, man? And they ask him that. This guy breaks the fuck down like a brick of blue cheese. He like doesn't even know what to fucking do with himself in this whole situation. Watch this.
Hey, I didn't give him a heads up. I kind of just put this on him. Didn't give him a heads up because that's what you do. You don't give a heads up. You expect
Did we give him a heads up? I think
No,
we did.
you
I think we
didn't.
texted
No,
him 30 minutes earlier and said, Evan, please come down to the dinner table. We want to talk about this thing. We waited a half hour. From Mac,
I did not get that text.
I don't know if you're paying attention.
Now wait until you hear the context of this little tuffle right here and the shit that's going to be said after. So right now they're arguing. The guy, the little Midge, he's like, you never give anybody like a heads up. You always want us to like deal with stuff like right here in the moment. And like, I can't just drop what I'm doing. I can't just drop Fortnite in the middle of a goddamn ranked match to come down and talk to you about some stuff. You want to know what they were calling this guy down to talk about? And they're sitting there saying, well, we actually texted you like and said we would talk in like a half an hour. So we gave you a half an hour head start to come downstairs and talk about it. You want to know what they were talking about? This guy this midget lost a Rolex at Coachella, right? A Rolex that was gifted to him by Logan Paul. A Rolex that he did not pay a cent for, right? He lost the Rolex. He starts crying his fucking eyes out. Crying his eyes out to Logan. I lost the Rolex. I don't know what to do, man. It's like a $50,000 watch, man. Logan's like, bro, like I paid for the watch, bro. You want me to buy you another one? He's like, that's not the point, man. You're not listening to me. Logan's like, I paid for the watch, man. I'm telling you, like, it's cool, bro. Like, I don't care, man. Like, let's just get past it. Let's go to Coachella. I'll buy you a new watch when we get back. He's like, no, man, but you're not listening to me. So Logan goes, bro, I'm getting bored, bro. I want to go and do Coachella. So then when they get back, Logan goes, okay, man, hey, I'm sorry about what happened at Coachella. In a half an hour, do you want to come downstairs and talk about it with us? Me, you, and Mike, we could talk about Coachella and like smooth it all out. I feel really bad. This midget sees the text. He goes, fuck that. I'm playing Call of Duty. He blows Logan off. So now he's sitting there crying and shit about this whole Coachella situation, saying, Logan, you don't give me time for my feelings. And Logan's like, well, I mean, I called you down for this meeting and like you were like busy playing video games and shit. Like, what are you talking about?
Put this on him. Didn't give him a heads up because that's what you do. You don't give a heads up. You expect
Did we give him a heads up? I think
No,
we did.
you
I think we
didn't.
texted
No,
him 30 minutes earlier and said, Evan, please come down to the dinner table. We want to talk about this thing. We waited a half hour. From Mac,
I did not get that
I don't know if you're paying attention. My friend Mac, he's known me since elementary school. One of my best friends. He said the hardest thing about living in this house right now is operating on your schedule. Like everything operates around your schedule. And unfortunately, bro, that's just the way things tick right now. And also, I have zero sympathy for waiting for video games if you're not making money or a career out of it. Absolutely zero. I'm sorry. I don't. Absolutely zero. I
get
could give
that.
a
I
fuck.
get
That's what I was gonna say from Logan's perspective. I think like what Mike was getting at from a productive standpoint. Where's the value in the purpose behind the video games and like not?
Quite honestly, Spencer, I don't know what the fuck to do with my life, dude. I'm lost as fuck. And when I go, I just have to take.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
I just have to.
It's fine.
No, dude.
You hear this guy? So they go and ask him. They go, "Yo, bro, like, why you playing video games from like a production standpoint? What value do they have?" And he goes, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life, man. It's fucking crazy." And then he walks off this goddamn set, right? He's crying his ass off, and then he gets upset that he showed him such a vulnerability on camera, right? He walks off the set, he's like kicking chairs and shit. He's like, "God damn it, stop crying. This is embarrassing, man." Like,
and when I go, I just have to take.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
I just have to.
It's fine.
No, dude, embrace it, bro.
This is tough for me.
This is a real episode.
This is really
Do you
tough.
want to just get off of it? Or like push off of it? Something else?
see, so now it's come to a screeching halt. They don't know what to do. And then, look, when he comes back, right? He ends up ruining the mood again. They finally get him back, right? And they go, "Yo, man, let's talk. You want to talk about something else? Like, this shit seems a little heavy, right? All this midget talk, right? You want to talk about some funny shit? Maybe we could talk about fucking bitches, bro." Like, and he's like, "Nah, man, I want to talk about the midget stuff again."
All the time.
That's humanity. So like for you to be talking about this, like don't feel weak because it's okay to address that. And I know we're on the podcast, but I feel like that can really help people, man. For us to figure out why you're feeling
I
those
just don't
things.
like doing this type of shit on cameras.
Yeah,
I really don't. This is same thing with vlogging. The thing in life, I think, there's a line in life where to turn off and shut off the cameras. And this is one point I think to shut off the cameras is I don't like. I think it's hard to talk things like this on camera because it's too real for me, and I don't think we get.
Why are you looking at-
Because this was your fault.
I didn't know it was going to go this deep.
I don't think we get.
Look, he goes, "I don't want to talk about this because it's too real to talk about in the cameras." You want to know why it's too real? It's because they're sitting there pointing out how like he's spent the last 2 years basically playing video games in his room. He's not making any vlogs. He's got over 2 million subscribers on YouTube at the time. He's got over 2 million followers on all his other platforms at the time. He could be doing and making so much goddamn money. Instead, he's literally doing this to himself by sitting in a room and playing video games. And the craziest fucking part about it is this guy could have been streaming the shit the entire time. Like, PewDiePie had been playing video games on YouTube for like 10 years before this guy even came on the goddamn scene. Like, so he could just, do a PewDiePie and do all those video games. He could just go online, make all this fucking money. Instead, he's sitting there wasting the fuck away. And Logan and these guys are sick of it. So they're talking to him about it. And now that he's getting blasted on air, he's like, "I can't talk about this, man, because it's too real." It's too real because you know that you did it to yourself. And now you think that there's no way out of it because you're so fucked. You're so deep in this goddamn hole. You should have had a little bit of forethought, man. You should have known. The midget thing can only go so high, metaphorically speaking, all right?
I don't think we actually get to the point of reason when the camera's in the face. You don't really get to the point. It's because you got people watching and it's like you got to entertain them and you gotta like.
But
I forgot the cameras were there.
Think about this though. You could be right. I'm not taking it away from you, but also, I think that's the thing about vlogging and all these other mediums is that the podcast gives us the ability to be real, and people can listen in on that. Because if all these people that are watching only watch vlogs, like they're not getting anything real. So like if they're watching right now, people are strapped in. Like they're down to learn from this situation as we are too.
And by the way, I will say, like, I am.
See, right now we're strapped in because we want to see this Midge crumble, bro. That's what we want. We don't give a fuck about none of the other shit. Now listen to this. This shit's crazy. This guy actually says, I don't want to be a midget, basically. Like, he says some... When I heard this, I was like, this shit's real right now?
Actually, but I know stem cell research. Like, I know about that. I didn't know that, like...
Well, they're able to
correlates with,
eliminate...
autism.
They're able to eliminate a lot of those types of things. So if technology could eliminate dwarfism, would you advocate for that? Or do you think dwarfism is something that...
Like a pride thing?
Right.
I think I would advocate it.
You think you would advocate that? Bro, that's crazy, bro. You just born a Midge, bro. That's like, I mean, just deal with it, man. Like, the only reason I thought that was kind of crazy is because, like, when I heard that, if I'm being honest with you, when I heard that, I pictured if somebody was like, hey, man, they came up with this stem cell research, right? And with the stem cell research, you can inject it in the embryo before they're born. And if your kid was supposed to be black, they won't be black when they're born. Now, would you advocate for that? And then instead of a midget, it's like some black kid, and he goes, yes, I would. I would advocate for that very much. Like, you know, that to me was like the same thing when I heard it. I was just like, whoa, that's fucking crazy, bro. Like, I could see, like, maybe like a set of Siamese twins or something, right? They're like, well, I mean, we would like to be like two separate people, you know? So if science could fix that before we end up coming out the oven, like, that'd be great. You know, or like someone who was like gonna be born with one arm or like born without eyeballs or some crazy shit, you know, something like that. It's like, yeah, let's advocate for that. Let's X that out. But I mean, midgets are still people. They're just half the people. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just half the height. It's not that big of a deal. So when I heard him say like, yeah, man, I'd advocate to get rid of all that shit, I was like, yo, dude, what's up with Hitler over here, bro? So let's give it up for this Midge right here. This is when Logan first set him free. Remember I told you about that. So now let's come back to present day, right? And now he's sitting here like this, looking like fucking Office Space and shit. You know what I mean? Now, he just told you, I came into a little bit of a rough patch, you know. Remember the last time I was here? Watch.
Hey, buddy.
What up?
How the fuck are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Definitely, I'll be vulnerable. I'll be real right now. I'm at a reset at a point in my life right now.
A what?
A reset. That makes sense?
For sure.
Not a midlife crisis. A reset.
Yep.
Trying to figure things out. As you guys remember from my last episode, I go, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. And I walk out. That was true. I did not know what the fuck I was doing with my life. Social media was fun. It was dope. I had a good time, good experiences, did a lot of things that the majority of the people living on Earth say.
All right, we don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. Let's hear about what he's actually doing. So, this guy, I mean, nothing wrong with it. I got one right now. But this motherfucker got a regular-ass 9-to-5 JOB, bitch.
Getting that. I have a job now.
Yep.
9 to 5, which I don't hate. I really don't. People are probably like, you work a job now. No, I like the authoritative schedule. I need that in my life. I need that authoritative drive.
Yep.
Because I don't have drive. I do not have self-drive. Hopefully I get it one day. I don't know. I don't know why I keep looking at that camera, by the way.
Well, that's where the people are.
They are over there.
That's you looking at the audience.
Yeah, I like talking to them too.
Good. Yeah.
Anyways, because I want someone, hopefully they can relate to that.
They will. I'm telling you, they will.
But
trust me, no one's relating to that. No one hit a fucking lottery ticket like you did. Got an invite to California from a rich fucking YouTuber. Put you up in their house for years. Basically lied to the world saying that you were their best friend. Gave you every opportunity that they possibly could. And then fucked it up like you did. Now you're working a regular ass job. Not a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. I don't know about you. I know I can't, right? So this guy, he starts talking about his regular job and how it's not that bad. And it's so funny. He goes, man, these people, like, they'll make fun of you online, bro, for, like, having a regular-ass job. Like, that's what they do. That's the internet. Was your first time? Huh? Like, you should know this by now. You trying to tell me you were as popular as you were like back in the day and nobody ever made fun of you back then? So he starts getting like real tight right now. He goes, man, I'm like trying to stream and stuff now. Like I'm trying to get the fire back, you know, get my audience back. And like everybody's just on there like rage baiting me. They're like hating on my shit, bro. Like it's kind of fucking crazy. Like since when did it become cool to like have a regular job?
Worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Way
Should
worse.
stop.
And like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Like when I'm streaming now, like I'll always stream probably till I'm literally an adult. That's my favorite thing to do ever.
I'll stream until I become an adult. Listen to this. I'll literally stream probably until I become an adult, he said. This guy is like 45 fucking years old. What is he talking about? Become an adult. Like, this is why he has so many goddamn fucking issues with this whole shit. When people say like midget and stuff, he doesn't even view himself as a goddamn adult. He knows. He's like, I'm such a goddamn child about everything in my goddamn life. I still haven't even grown up yet. Like, come on, dude. There are plenty of midgets out there, like, doing wonderful things. I mean, look at Brad Williams. Him and Carlos Mencia raped a girl, and he's still selling out theaters. So, come on, man. Like, you're capable of big things for a little guy. You just have to put your mind to it, bro. You can't sit there and let these people rage bait you like that. And the reason why they're rage baiting you is because you say shit like this.
It's got
like,
worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Way
Should
worse.
stop.
And like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Like when I'm streaming now, like I'll always stream probably till I'm literally an adult. That's my favorite thing to do ever, streaming. Great way to connect with fans. I'm game with my fans. Great way to connect with them, like I said. But now this fucker is coming in the chat now, and they think it's funny. It's called rage baiting or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, put the whole talking down in 9 to 5. They're like, put the fries in the bags, bro. It's like,
It's
shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, you're making fun of someone who is like has a job at like McDonald's. I'm not saying I have a job at McDonald's, or like a kid.
You basically said you have a job at McDonald's. You basically told me you have a job at McDonald's. Unless you prove to me otherwise and bring receipts, motherfucker. I have now officially deemed you McDonald's employee. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Okay? So let's hear him get rage baited. He's literally talking about this. He's going to get rage baited right now while talking about it. That's how much it works on him.
Who's just trying to start their life. And now we're like making fun of that. We're making fun of 16, 17, anybody with a job. We're making fun of that. Like, shut the fuck up.
So people will comment mean things to antagonize you to get you to react?
Like I don't react. Like I don't give them the reaction. But it's like, am I annoyed at the end of the day? Yeah. But I've learned to like not give up. Like my fucks now are 0.
Bro, they're making fun of you for having a job because having a job is like gay as fuck. Like, I got a job. Guess what? I don't want it. You can have it. If you can pay me the same amount the job does, you can have it. I'll do some social media shit. I mean, I'm trying to do it right now. So like you're sitting there trying to like cope with it, which is fine. Everybody deserves a good cope. But you got to be realistic with that cope. You can't be sitting there going like getting rage baited off of like third party shit. Like, these people said this stuff to you probably a month ago, and you sitting there having a whole little meltdown about it right here in the middle of the goddamn impulsive shit, right? So now check this out. We're going to forget about the Midge, you know what I mean? Because this guy, we already saw all we need to know about this guy. Let's talk about good old Big Mike. Look, Big Mike, he starts talking all this big game type shit. He goes, bro, you gotta like not give a fuck about people online, bro. Like, I was like doing stuff online and I stopped giving a fuck, right? And then like my whole life changed. And then Logan just starts fucking roasting him. Watch this shit.
And then for me, like my biggest thing is you'll never be, no one in this room, no one in this world will ever be able to control or manipulate the environment around them.
Agreed.
The only thing you will ever be able to do is manipulate your reaction to it. That's it. That is the only thing you're ever trying to do in life. I remember for the first like 3-4 years, all throughout dating Lana, I had this, my skin was still relatively thin. Stuff would get through. I put out a great book. I put out a bunch of great shows. I made some money, made the parents proud, bought them a car, bought my own crib, got a good girl, whatever, all that shit. You could stand in my face for an hour and scream at me every hurtful insult in the world, and my blood pressure would not rise by a percentage point. I am when you say zero fucks, I am unaffected, like literally unaffected by anything in the world around me.
Now, pay attention to this, right? Because Mike's talking some big shit right now. He's sitting there going, bro, like, when I was dating, like, Lana Rose, people were, like, sitting there talking about me online. They were like, dude, do you know that your girlfriend, like, literally drinks piss, dude? Like, I've seen videos of it. She's, like, drinking so much piss, bro. And, like, she's getting jizzed all in her eyes and her ears and her nose. It's crazy, bro. Everyone was saying all this stuff to me. I was getting real upset about it at first. Then eventually, I got real thick skin, bro. I found a nice girl. I made all this money, millions of dollars. The only thing I bought for my parents was a car. Then I bought myself a mansion and a bunch of diamonds and all this crazy shit. I fucked a bunch of whores. And then I learned that, like, I became a wannabe Andrew Tate. And that gave me the confidence to, like, move on, man. So he goes through, like, this whole big fucking thing, right? Saying all this shit about how he's this, like, top dog, right? And then Logan just brings this fucking hellfire shit right on him. Listen to this.
My own crib, got a good girl, whatever, all that shit. You could stand in my face for an hour and scream at me every hurtful insult in the world, and my blood pressure would not rise by a percentage point. I am when you say zero fucks, I am unaffected. Like literally unaffected by anything in the world around me. How did I get there? By creating at least some semblance of the me that I wanted to create. And now I'm able to stand on that shit in the face of anything. There's literally no comment, no online thing. Your girl's a whore. Like I just see garbage. I see occasionally I'll say, oh, this is a sad human, or oh, this is a young kid.
What did you think when Duke Dennis was rizzing up your girl?
Holy shit! Look, Mike talked all that shit. He's like, bro, I'm the fucking man, bro. I did all this awesome shit, dude. Logan comes over and goes, yo, what happened when Duke Dennis, like, fucked your bitch live on national television? He's like, hold up. He's like, what happened when Duke Dennis rizzed up your woman? And Mike just got shell-shocked. He's like, bro, what? He's like, I don't know, man. What are you talking about, dude? That's so funny. And then he says all these things to make himself seem like this awesome dude, right? And then he goes, whenever people hate on me in the comments, I look at the comments, right? Which is mostly made up of people who support me. And then some of them will criticize the stuff that I'm doing because I'm acting like an asshole. I look at them, I go, you're garbage. You're nothing but fucking human garbage, you piece of fucking shit. And then I think to myself, I'm rich. I'm getting my dick sucked. What does it even matter? I don't even let it faze me. No comment could hurt me ever. Logan goes, what about when that dude, like, straight piped down your fucking bitch in front of everybody?
This is a sad human, or oh, this is a young kid.
What did you think when Duke Dennis was rizzing up your girl?
If you go and rewind the footage to 3 seconds after that clip ended, they look at me and they go, thank you. That's going to go so fucking viral.
Really?
And I go, bro, obviously, dude. Like, you think this is my first rodeo? We were doing that stuff with Lana back in the day. You would put her in bed with David, the German videographer, and we would set up cheating.
Yeah. He goes, I would do it with Lana back in the day, man. He's like, someone would, like, stick their dick right inside Lana's ass. Another guy would be pissing in her face. We would post it. And then we'd be like, oh, look, Lana's cheating on Big Mike. And then we'd get millions of dollars out of it. A bunch of different brand deals, man. He goes, what happened when that dude, like, rizzed up your girl? Duke Dennis rizzed up your girl in front of everybody, right? He fucking has the balls to look at Logan and go, 3 seconds after the camera got done rolling, they both looked at me, his girlfriend and the guy who was hitting on her, looked at Big Mike and said, thanks, Big Mike. That's going to go so viral, man. Thank you. We appreciate you letting us do that, Big Mike. We appreciate you letting us cuck you on social media because that's going to go so viral. Nobody's girlfriend would ever say it. You let this guy hit all over me, right? Then we're going to post it on social media. Your girlfriend's going to thank you for it? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. That was classic. I love that. I got to see that again because his face is just like, when he's like doing the awkward thing, he's like, oh, you know, people get that awkward smile. He goes, 3 seconds after the camera was rolling, bro, like, they both thanked me, dude. I don't even know what you're talking about. You think it's my first rodeo, bro? Like, you're crazy, dude.
Kid. What did you think when Duke Dennis was rizzing up your girl?
That silence is violence, baby. I'm sorry. We got to keep it zoomed in on Mike. You got to see the silence.
What did you think when Duke Dennis was rizzing up your girl?
He's coming up with the cope. The silence, that's now the gears are turning. He goes, how can I get out of this, man, without making myself seem like a total fucking bitch right now, dude?
If you go and rewind the footage to 3 seconds after that clip ended, they look at me and they go, thank you. That's going to go so fucking viral.
Really?
And I go, bro, obviously, dude. Like, you think this is my first rodeo? We were doing that stuff with Lana back in the day. You would put her in bed with David, the German videographer, and we would set up cheating. Bro, they go viral on fucking, they were like, how did you know to do that? I'm like, bro, I've been in the game. Welcome to the game.
Yeah, you played the character.
Like, I've been here for 10 years now.
Luck, you give it up, yeah. Good old Big Mike. Ex-girlfriend getting came all over, pissed all over, sitting in bed with another guy. Totally cool. It's no big deal, you know. This is how the game works. He's been in the game for 10 years. When you're in the social media game for 10 years, someone else is going to eventually have to stick their dick in your girlfriend's ass for a social media post, and that's big money. That's the game. That's just how the game works. You know what I mean? So, now this one I thought was great. Listen to this. Did you guys know that Logan Paul likes to give notes? Did you know that? He likes to give notes. Like, when people are doing, like, regular shit around him, like, he goes, hey, man, here's a note, bro. He goes, what you did back there? Don't do that no more. Here's a note, bro. And then when people go, whoa, what the fuck is this, man? Like, I'm not listening to this. What are you talking? What are you, my dad? He goes, bro, just take the note, bro. Why can't you just take the note and listen, bro? Like, I pay for all this shit, man. Here's another note. Learn how to take notes, you know?
By the way, I'm
the same way.
I want to clarify. I'm the asshole of the family.
Yeah, no shit.
Some people were invested.
I'm the asshole too.
Some people weren't. You know, half of the people at the table were really engaged, and the other half wasn't. And so, like, I don't know. Like, I don't need. Yeah, I gave her feedback about something that like I didn't need to. This is my sweet mother. I didn't say it real.
I know.
You know how much he loves to give his notes, bro.
Well, because
this dude is the fucking. He'll give a note to anybody.
Well, dude, it's
he'll
just
give
like
a note to a squirrel.
Do I see an opportunity for the squirrel to improve?
A little note.
When you grab that nut.
Yeah.
Could have done better.
He could be more efficient. He could be more efficient with his nut collecting.
He was giving notes to Phantom on streaming last episode. People were like, bro, would this dude just give notes? And you want to know the worst thing that ever happened? When he used to say to me, it would be this like complex thing. And he would give me this like feedback, and I would give him a response to his feedback, and it would go back and forth, and he would always say, just take the fucking note. It's so simple. Just take the note, right?
Ooh. See, Mike don't like that. You see, Mike's doing this like awkward smile shit where he goes, I'm about to unleash this story, bro. It's gonna make Logan look like a total asshole, bro. Like, every time I do something wrong, which is probably like every day, Logan looks at me and he goes, bro, take this fucking note, man. And he hands me a small piece of paper. And it always has 2 check boxes, one yes or one no. And the question always says, did you take the note? And when I throw that shit back in his face, he says to me, bro, you need to learn how to take the note and be the good little bitch that I pay you to be. And this is what's going to happen next.
We go back and forth, and he would always say, just take the fucking note. It's so simple. Just take the note, right? And I always hated when he would say that, because I'll be like, well, it's not simple, because you're either accusing me of something or telling me I need to change something that I don't agree with your assessment. So I'm not going to just take the note. I'm going to fucking retort that shit, bro, and tell you why you might be wrong. We can have a conversation about it. He's like, no, take the fucking note. So I always hated that so much. And
Look at my man over here. Yo, he might as well be begging right now. He's like, Logan, he's sitting there laughing. He goes, Logan, please take me back in the crew, bro. I can't work this 9 to 5 anymore. He goes, I promise, I swear, I'll sit back here. I'll laugh at every single joke Big Mike says, bro. Please. He goes, please take me back, bro. I can't work another 9 to 5 and get called a midget on a fucking Twitch stream again, please.
Recently, like 2 months ago, I was telling Sarah something in an argument, and she kept pushing back, and I said, bro, why are you being so stubborn? Just take the note.
Take the note. Take the note. Who cares?
So it gets even worse than that. 2 days ago, she was telling me something, and I pushed back on her, and she told me to take the fucking note. And
Everyone's about to start losing their minds.
I was like, no, bro. I've created a cycle of note taking, bro. It was so bad.
Yes.
It came right back to me, bro.
Look, that's gold right there. Like, let's give it up for Logan Paul, Big Mike, and Midget Mamba. Gotta love them. Okay, so apparently Logan's going around giving everybody notes. He's like, take the note, bro. Why can't you just take the note? So then Mike turns into a robot, and he's walking around his house going, take the note, take the note, take the note. And he says it to his girlfriend. Then his girlfriend's walking around going, take the note, take the note. They all become zombies, right? Next thing you know, everybody on Logan's team is just bumping into each other, walking around going, take the note, take the note, take the note. Why can't you just take the fucking note? Like, what kind of crazy shit is this, dude? God damn. You gotta love it, though. Good old Impaulsive on another episode of Lost Aux Media. So, let's get ready. Turn on a little bit of tunes. I will spark up the ass end of this joint. Because this is the part where we usually end the episode. But we're going to do it a little different because I got some new announcements, goddammit. Soon, Lost Aux Media will have merch. Yes, I got the site ready to go live, everything like that. All I'm waiting on are a couple samples to get here. I want to make sure that if you guys do buy merch, that the merch is actually good. So before the site goes live, I got to get those samples, check them out, and then after that, we can get ready to start selling some goddamn tees and some hoodies, motherfucker. If you want to support the show, that's going to be the best way. Hope you guys are smoking on this Christmas, dude, because you got to get that green, you know, just like the Christmas tree. So when the merch does go live, that website will be lostaux.media. That's lostaux.media. That will be for all Lost Aux merch. Then soon, we will have the Lost Aux Media's burn unit. YouTube memberships, all sorts of stuff like that with exclusive content, more things to come. The bigger the show gets, the better the show gets. Remember that. So, if you want to be sure to catch us anytime, any place, you can do that at youtube.com/@LostAUXmedia. That's youtube.com/@LostAuxmedia. You can catch audio episodes every Wednesday at 5 a.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you catch your podcasts. And those YouTube video episodes go up at 4 p.m. That way, you can listen to the episodes on your way to work, and when you get home from work, you can fucking watch them. And don't forget to keep an eye out for the merch drop at lostaux.media. Until next time, I bid you adieu. Goodbye.
Hey, mommy, you a hottie, got a body, yummy, yummy. You so naughty, acting funny, you so sweet, got me. Yeah, I'm sprung, got me. Get excited when you coming, get ignited when you coming. You don't gotta tell her nothing, she's a freaky freak. Oh, she